Hello and welcome inside Meridian Center here in downtown St. Catharines, Ontario, home of the 2021 Canada Summer Games, and also home to a clash of the Titans here in the CEBL Summer Series. The top two teams in the standings right now, the Edmonton Stingers and the Guelph Nighthawks, squaring off in a game that will decide who moves into sole possession of first place here in the CEBL. The Edmonton Stingers can clinch first overall with a victory and their fifth win in the Summer Series. This is going to be extremely exciting. It's Sean Woodley here. Javon Shepard, former Canadian national teamer, with me. Javon, how are you?
I'm good. I'm excited about this match. Obviously, both of these teams have peaked at the right time. Edmonton winning four of their five last games. Guelph winning two of their last. So, both these teams are on the right path, and it should come as no surprise. Guelph returns 5 players, Edmonton returns 7, so it should be a good one.
If you're talking about cohesive teams, these are the two teams to talk about in the CEBL so far here in the Summer Series. Guelph, coached by Charles Kissy, and of course Edmonton, coached by Jermaine Small. These teams have been awesome, and we're going to get a lot of action from them here in today's game. Of course, coming up on the other side of the break, we're going to hear from the third member of our broadcast crew as well, Amy Audibert. She'll check in with an interview with Coach Jermaine Small. We'll also get to the keys to the game officials, and the starting lineups for the squads ahead of tip-off here on CBC Gem and CJOI 1460 in Guelph.
It was a Saturday. Chris was a good dad. His water practices, not so much. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Culligan. Got a water pitcher for the fam. Pretty safe, huh?
Well, basic water pitchers are passable, whereas a Culligan reverse osmosis system can reduce lead, arsenic, pesticide runoff.
You realize these have filters?
Chris, pour it out.
It's not going fast enough. Just done with that.
When your water's right, so is your world. I wrote that!
Time to rep your CEBL pride, Canada. Exclusive new era merchandise is now available on CEBL.ca. Buy your favorite hats, replica jerseys, t-shirts, hoodies, and more. Welcome to our game. Edmonton Stingers fans, get 12% off 2021 season tickets by placing your $50 deposit before August 9th, 2020. Visit CEBL.ca/thestingers and take advantage of this exclusive Summer Series offer. Welcome to a new basketball experience. Nighthawks fans, right now you can get 12% off 2021 season tickets by placing your $50 deposit before August 9th, 2020. Visit thenighthawks.ca and take advantage of this exclusive Summer Series offer. Welcome to a new basketball experience.
Welcome back inside Meridian Center, just a few moments away from Nighthawks and Stingers. Sean Woodley, Javon Shepard here. Let's send it down to the third member of our broadcast crew, Amy Audibert.
2 days remaining in the Summer Series round robin portion. One of the consistent game trends has been the inability to keep up with Xavier Moon for most teams. And yes, that also includes our robotic cameras at times. So I spoke to Guelph head coach Charles Kissy about his strategy coming into the matchup. And he simply said, we're going to do our best to keep the ball out of his hands. And he knows that's not going to happen every possession, but the more they can force other Edmonton guys to make decisions, the better it works out for his team's favor. You can also expect Guelph to throw a lot of different pressures, half court, full court, different defenses, and they're also going to attack Moon on the other end of the court. But Sean, as we've seen, much easier said than done. Guys.
Absolutely. Thanks very much, Amy. Great stuff, and we'll be talking to you throughout the evening as you interview the coaches and players on the sideline, offer some nice little notes on the players as well. Some nice little notes on the standings, Javon. Let's take a look here at the Summer Series standings so far. As I mentioned off the top, the Edmonton Stingers and the Guelph Nighthawks are the two teams standing at the top right now with just one loss. Edmonton, their final game of the round robin here against Guelph. If they win, they clinch first overall and a bye to the semifinals. Guelph sitting there at 3-1, have Edmonton and Fraser Valley to close. A pretty tough schedule to close for Guelph. Fraser Valley sitting there at 3-2 in comfortable position, should be through at least into the quarterfinals. You've got Ottawa, Hamilton, Saskatchewan, all sort of in that middle mix there, kind of on the brink, but kind of comfortable. And then Niagara, 1-4. Really surprising, Javon, to see the Niagara River Lions in last place after their 15-5 regular season last year. They will close out against Ottawa, and it's really, really interesting stuff. We're going to send it on down to the baseline with Amy Audibert and Jermaine Small, head coach of the Stingers.
Thanks, Sean. Coach, your final round robin game here kind of feels like the biggest one of the series for you.
Yeah.
How are you guys feeling coming into this matchup?
We feel good. I mean, obviously we're a little bit tired, like building game by game.
I want to talk to you about a game within the game, you know, in the inside presence, right? You've got Jordan, who's a muscle power guy. On the other end, Guelph brings a lot of length.
They do.
And so what are you expecting with the paint look tonight?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. I think who wins the for it.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Have a great game. We'll go back to you.
Thanks so much, Amy. Thanks to Coach Small for taking the time. Javon, let's take a look now at the keys of the game here for each of the teams. The keys to the game for the Guelph Nighthawks, sir.
You know what, for Guelph, I think they need to stick to transition basketball. That's been their DNA for over the course of this series, and they need to stick to that. That's worked for them. Control Moon. Moon accounts for 35% of Edmonton's offense. He's a guy that gives you 20 points and 5 assists. You have to cut off the head of the snake. Your bench contribution for Guelph. This team scores 80 points per game, averages 80 points per game. 40 of those come from your bench. You have to stick to that.
Absolutely. Fascinating to see if Marcus Anderson, the good defending first-year player out of Carleton, maybe gets the task of guarding Xavier Moon in the open court. Now let's take a look at the keys to the game for the Edmonton Stingers.
It is simple. Rebounds. Win the battle of the rebounds. Simply put, this team, the only loss that they lost the battle of the rebounds. So rebound is their key, and they have to stick to that. Take care of the basketball. Guelph averages 10 steals per game, and you have to be tight and concise with the basketball just to avoid getting them out and running, because that's how they score the bulk of their points. Play through your big men. Teams know the scouting report is out. You have great guard play, Edmonton does, and you have 3 bigs that are averaging, they score the bulk of their baskets in the paint, averaging 60% over down low. So you definitely have to stick to that and go with what works.
Absolutely. That Jordan Baker-Travis Daniels combo is very, very good. Let's take a look at the starting lineups here for both the Guelph Nighthawks and the Edmonton Stingers, beginning there with the Edmonton Stingers up top of your screen. Xavier Moon, as we talked about, the defending MVP, could be in line for a second straight MVP of the league. Jordan Baker, Matthew Kamba, Mambi Diawara, and Travis Daniels round out the starting 5 for Edmonton. On the Guelph Nighthawks side of things, Marcus Anderson there, we mentioned, starting in the backcourt next to Kimball McKenzie. Both will have their hands full with Xavier Moon today. Jonathan Arledge and Tredarius McCallum are the 2 imports for the Guelph Nighthawks. Both have played quite well. And Jabari Craig in the middle for the Nighthawks, a returning player for Guelph. The officials for today's game are Max Audette, Frank Rizzuti, and Nate Saunders. We're just under a minute away from this one, and a reminder that the official game ball of the CEBL is Spalding. Get your new CEBL official replica ball today by visiting CEBL.ca. They are extremely, extremely nice balls. And Javon, last 40 seconds here before we get to tip-off. Final thoughts, final notes here. In particular, I mean, the very interesting thing here, of course, is Xavier Moon. How do you try to slow that guy down? He is a monster. He is fast. He gets the team moving in transition. He pokes for steals. How do you slow down Xavier Moon?
You know what? I think it's one of 2 things. You either find a way to stop him, which you may not be able to catch him. But if you can't stop him, you have to really negate everybody else out of the picture. Otherwise, you're going to have a two-headed snake, and two-headed snakes and you don't want that. So it's either Moon is going to beat us or the team. Right? You can't have both. So it's one of the 2.
Absolutely. Edmonton is 4-1 for a reason. There are no easy decisions to make when deciding who to allow things to and who to really gear up to stop on the defensive end for the Edmonton Stingers as they get ready to try to move to 5-1 and claim one of the byes through to the semifinals. If Guelph wins this game, we could see a four-way tie at 4-2 atop the standings in theory by the end of this week, which would be fascinating and would be obviously would come down to point differential as the number one tiebreaker. So everything is still up for grabs here. Even the Niagara River Lions at 2-4. One win against Ottawa this week could change their fortunes. It is still up for grabs here as week 2 of the CEBL rolls along here in the summer series for 2020. The Guelph Nighthawks hit the floor. They're wearing blue with silver trim and black trim as well. And the Edmonton Stingers will be in yellow with blue trim and those little white chevrons on the side. Both good-looking threads here for the Edmonton Stingers and the Guelph Nighthawks. I'm a big nerd when it comes to jerseys. These teams both satiate my nerddom, so that's a good thing. Getting set to get going here. Again, it's Moon, Baker, Kamba, Davis, and Diawara on the floor for the Stingers. The starting five that's gotten it done all tournament long. On the side of the Nighthawks for Charles Kissy, it's McCallum, Arledge, Craig, and in the backcourt, Marcus Anderson, the surprise U Sports rookie, coming out and playing starters minutes and playing really well for Guelph here, and Kimball McKenzie running the show at the point as well. This should be a fun one. Thanks for being with us here on CBC Gem and CJOY 1460 in Guelph as Craig and Daniels get set for the tip.
Should be a good one.
It's up, and it is one back to Kimball McKenzie. He'll walk it up here for Guelph for the opening possession of the game. Anderson with it. Gets it over to Arledge on the right wing. He's got Daniels in his shirt. Little handoff action with McCallum. Swung back around to Craig. Little handoff there on the left wing for Kimball McKenzie. 9 on the shot clock. John Arledge up top. He'll drive. Pulls up from long 2 range. Can't get it to go. Rebound is fought for, and Diawara comes away with it.
I'm not surprised that was Baker on that tip with that rebound there. This guy's averaging 10 rebounds per game, leading the league with 10 rebounds per game. He's barely 6'5".
He has been excellent in the front court for Edmonton so far. Daniels with it up top. Gets it tapped away by Anderson. It falls in the hands of Diawara. 4 on the clock. Can't get a look. Over to the wing. Kamba for 3 at the buzzer. That's no good. Rebound grab there by Arledge. McKenzie will walk it up. We're still scoreless. McKenzie with it. Drives to his right. Tries to score over Baker and does. Kimball McKenzie gets the Nighthawks on the board. 2-0.
That was a great job of McKenzie there, using his body to shield himself as he finishes that basket. He's a bit undersized going into with the towers, but good job of using his body.
Xavier Moon finding Diawara. He's got Anderson in him. Kicks up top for Baker. He drives, is fouled near the free throw line by Jabari Craig. It'll be a side out of bounds. 14 on the reset clock here for the Stingers.
And that's the beauty of having a guy that's physical enough to play against bigs, but faster and creates an advantage for himself driving to the basket. He'll always have a slight advantage against bigger defenders. In that case, we see him drawing the foul. We see Baker drawing the foul on Craig.
Diawara will inbound. He gets it into the post for Baker. He quickly attacks, swings it to the corner for Kamba. That's good. Matthew Kamba knocking it down. 3-2. Edmonton leads early on.
That was a great read by Kamba. You see Baker turn baseline and fill the corner for him. Great pass by Baker. Open shot.
Marcus Anderson with it. Surveying. 12 on the clock now as Arledge gets it. He'll drive. That's slapped away into the hands of Diawara, who will move it the other way here for Edmonton. Into the paint for Jordan Baker. He can't get it to go, but Daniels on the follow, and it's 5-2 here for Edmonton. Foul's going to be called here in the backcourt on Xavier Moon.
Daniels is a guy you have to really watch out for early on, because some would even say last year he was runner-up for MVP. So you know that's a guy that can get going. He can play inside, outside, and you know, if you see his physique, that's a big guy.
He's a big dude.
He's a big guy. So you know, he can do a lot on the court and create matchup problems. He's very, very physical. It's a guy you really want to shut down early and not let going against your team.
Jabari Craig has it here for the Nighthawks. Looking for a handoff option. He finds Kimball McKenzie. 15 on the clock. He'll drive. Lobs it up. Jabari Craig jams it down.
Great job using a mid-ball screen. Jabari Craig dove hard to the basket, and you can't defend that. McKenzie did a great job of lobbing to the basketball. With Craig's arm wingspan, rather, there's not much you can do when you throw that ball at the rim.
That Edmonton possession started with a missed three by Diawara. He ends it by stepping out of bounds, and it's Guelph ball. Anderson inbounds here to McCallum, and McKenzie will get the ball and walk it up with Diawara on him. He drives left, pulls up for three. A foul is going to be called here, though.
And you know what? That play actually developed on the last alley-oop that Craig received because he dove so hard the first time. His defender now just held on to him to avoid, the same action.
Foul there was called on Diawara. I was trying to get a read on the jersey. There is Kimball McKenzie. He'll pull up from the exact same spot. That three is good for Kimball McKenzie. 7-5 early on here for Guelph.
Simple basketball. Your defender goes under the screen, stop and pop it.
Baker walks up, calls it a horns play. And we see Travis Daniels with it now up. He gets it to Diawara, 10 on the clock. Not much action here on this possession for Edmonton. And Daniels, pick and pop three. That's good. Travis Daniels, the assist to Diawara.
Diawara did a really good job. Again, another mid-ball screen. 2 dribbles off of the ball screen, drew his defender. And drew Daniels' defender, rather, kicked it back. And that's the beauty of having a big man that can shoot the ball as well.
Another attempted lob for Craig. That one fails. It goes back the other way in a turnover. And it's out of bounds. It's going to be Edmonton ball. Reminder that the CEBL has been trending all across Canada throughout the summer series. Join the conversation by using the hashtag OurGame on all social platforms. Daniels is going to inbound at 20 on the shot clock here for the Stingers. Gets it into Baker. Up top to Diawara. To a cutting Moon into the paint. Little floater. That's good. Xavier Moon.
Good job reading that play. He came off the pin down and his defender was trailing. Was a little late trailing him. 2 dribbles to the middle. Easy floater for a guy like that with his speed.
Diawara takes it the other way after a steal. Lobs it up. Kamba. Matchia Kamba with the two-handed alley-oop finish. And it's a 12-7 lead early on here for Edmonton.
Really good pace by both teams.
Here's McKenzie. He'll drive. Tries to go off glass. He's fouled by Baker, and Kimball McKenzie is going to take a trip to the free throw line. McKenzie played this past season with Valladolid in Spain. Hope I said that right. He's a 6'2" guard out of Oakville, Ontario. Played for Bucknell, graduated in 2019, and came right to the Guelph Nighthawks for the back half of the season and really kind of helped things coalesce a little bit as Charles Kissy took over the team in the back half of the year as well. And McKenzie was one of his guys that kind of helped right the ship. It was too late to make the playoffs, but did a pretty good job of at least keeping the Nighthawks in the conversation down the stretch.
And you know what? You can tell it's a guy that has some experience playing. He came off that ball screen there, and he pretty much sold that foul. Got his leg out a bit, a little flare. But that's something he probably learned out in Spain. I played out there a couple of times, and those guys have caught me on some of those veterans have caught me on a couple of those fouls, flopping fouls. But you learn quick.
Devontae Campbell has just checked in here for Edmonton, number 24 for the Stingers. It is 12-9 Edmonton early on after McKenzie makes both free throws. And here's Campbell with it in the backcourt. He finds Moon. Moon denies and then takes the Daniels screen. He's got Tyrell Green on him now. He'll drive to the corner. Devontae Campbell for three. No good. Rebound there, but grabbed by Tate.
That's still a really good shot by getting to the getting to the paint of the defense and just, kicking out for an open shot.
Terrell Tate finds Tyrell Green, and Green knocks in the jumper. 12-11 for Edmonton as Diawara now has it here. He tries to drive. He is fouled there ever so slightly by Terrell Tate. And it's going to be Edmonton ball, 16 on the shot clock.
I'm not sure what Terrell Tate could be complaining about. He got Diawara twice on that play. But
maybe he was complaining that the first one didn't get called.
Didn't get called.
He was just wanted the ref to do his job
trying
quicker.
to slow down the play.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Daniels on the baseline, gets it in, up top. And it is out of bounds, deflected there by Campbell, can't recover it in time. And it is Guelph ball. A couple of recent check-ins here for Guelph. Tyrell Green will do the inbound. You got Miles Charvis recently checked in. Stick around after the game. Ward 1 Studios has a great feature on Miles Charvis that we're going to run after our broadcast tonight, so stick around.
It's really good to see Miles out there. I know he suffered similar to, well, the same injury as we've seen Dwayne Notice suffered, an Achilles injury, ruptured his Achilles. But just seeing him out there faster, quicker, and just confident is just really impressive. And I hope him and Dwayne Notice are able to connect just so that he can help him mentally, over the process that he's going to have, the recovery process that he's going to have to go through.
Moon finds Campbell on the run, and then Campbell's fouled going up, so Devontae Campbell is going to go to the line, a 6'6" forward out of Vaughan, Ontario, University of Albany, 2019 graduate. And we'll have the free throws on the other side. I believe a little bit of a conversation with the officials and the timekeepers.
You know what's impressive about both of these teams is that they're extremely interchangeable on the perimeter and in the play and in the block. Sorry, with the bigs.
They have decided that they will send to the media timeout, and we will send a break here on CBC Gem and CJOY 1460 in Guelph.
Most of our clients who come through our door and who are suffering from mental illness, they're feeling a sense of despair and a longing for help. Often, insurance companies are denying disability claims on the basis that there's insufficient medical evidence. We've represented hundreds of clients who suffer from anxiety or depression. We fight for our clients' right to receive the compensation they deserve. If you've been denied long-term disability, don't give up. We can help.
Your long-term disability firm, Kotak Law.
Follow the Edmonton Stingers on social media right now to get the latest news, updates, and behind-the-scenes access that the Stingers have to offer. Follow the Guelph Nighthawks on social media right now to get the latest news, updates, and behind-the-scenes access that the Nighthawks have to offer.
(12-11), the Edmonton Stingers lead the Guelph Nighthawks early on here at Meridian Center as the CEBL Summer Series rolls along. The top two teams right now in the standings squaring off. Headed to the line for two free throws is Devontae Campbell, who recently checked in here for the Edmonton Stingers. He knocks in the first.
Before we went to break, I touched on both teams being, interchangeable from all positions. And I had a conversation with Coach Small last week, and he said he didn't want guys that were just interchangeable, but he wanted guys that could defend multiple positions. So, that's really worked well for him. It's interesting to see.
There is, in the corner, Olufemi Matimi recently checked in. He swings it back up after getting stonewalled. 10 on the shot clock. Skip pass there to the corner. Olufemi Matimi, no good. And it's picked up there by Xavier Moon. Head up. Walking it up the floor here for the Stingers, the reigning player of the year. Campbell with it. He drives a little spin move, and it is stolen there by Tyrell Green. Guelph will bring it back the other way. Miles Charvis with it.
That's a great vet move by Famatimi. He's just crowding the paint. He's seen the spin move coming and just stood there. Campbell turned right into him, turnover.
Charvis can't get the up and under finish to go. Moon gets the long bomb to go. Xavier Moon putting Edmonton up 6, 17-11.
This guy is extremely confident.
That's one way to put it.
Not arrogant, but confident. He just has a calm, cool demeanor. It just seems like he has the game under control.
I mean, there's no reason why he wouldn't. And if he wanted to be arrogant, he could probably get away with that too. He's been the best player in this league for 2 years running now, you could argue. Terrell Tate misses the three. Rebound grabbed there by Zach Overwater, who's recently checked into the game wearing number 9. Here is Moon once again, gets to his sweet spot, that 18-foot range. Looking for the foul call, can't get it to go air ball, and Campbell steps out of bounds. As the whistle blast from that electronic whistle from official Frank Rizzuti goes. Of course, the electronic whistles, one of the protocols in place to ensure the lack of droplets, I think, is kind of the aim here, as we, of course, are still living in the world of a pandemic. As much as the CEBL has done a great job of making us feel like everything's normal and fine and safe, you know, there's protocols in place for a reason. Here's Famatimi over to Tyrell Green for three. Can't get it to go. Rebound grab there by Tyrell Tate. Keeps the possession alive, goes up. Blocked away there by McNeely from behind.
And you see, that's what you want on a, you know, Edmonton showing a 2-3 zone. They got a perimeter shot. But the thing with going into a zone is that you're always out of place for rebounds. So that's something to look for, something to look out for if you are in a zone, if you're in a play zone tonight.
Adika Peter McNeely can't get the mid-range shot to go. Guelph will bring it back the other way. Quickly up, Corey Johnson in the corner. That is good.
And this has been their bread and butter. Rebounds, steals, get the ball up the court, easy shots. If they can get to that tonight and get into rhythm that way, it'll bode well for them.
Corey Johnson, wearing number 24, recently checked in here with the three to make it 17-14. It's going to go the other way after an Edmonton turnover. A reminder that you can pick up the latest gear from your favorite team exclusively from New Era, the official merchandise partner of the CEBL, and its 7 teams across Canada. Visit CEBL.ca and click on shop. You can get jerseys, hats, t-shirts, hoodies, all that stuff. The hats we got here on the table here, Javon, look fantastic.
I hope this is mine after the game.
I think that's the deal, right?
As well as the jersey.
Yeah. Here's Olu Famatimi. Gets it up to Tyrell Tate. 5 on the clock. He's going to drive, tries to slice in, but it's tapped away by Edmonton and recovered by Jordan Baker. Adika Peter McNeely now with it in the backcourt for Edmonton. He's looking for some space. He tries to drive, little spin move, gets it up, and a beautiful finish there by Adika Peter McNeely, making something out of nothing.
Making something out of nothing. All the way, that spin move he must have learned in the playground up in Malvern. He walked by me earlier on and just wanted to make sure that I shouted out everybody in Malvern. You know, where McNeely grew up, rather. Peter McNeely grew up, owned his skills. Went to high school out there, Mother Teresa. A lot of greats come out of there. A lot of greats come out of that high school there.
Tyrell Tate checks out. Kimball McKenzie, the leading scorer for Guelph, with 7 points early on, checks back in. And he gets a long rebound there that Moon can't ensnare. Little two-man game with Green. Green now over to the corner. There's Miles Jarvis. Finds a flashing Famatimi, but a foul is going to be called here. It's going to stick with Guelph, 14 back on the clock.
Stingers are doing a really good job being aggressive in their zone. They're not relaxing. It's giving Guelph a little trouble moving the basketball. A couple times we've seen that they've forced shots from the perimeter, and they're out of place. They're being rushed right now. I think if they settle down and just find the open pockets of the zone, they'll be able to get some better shots.
It's back in with 14 on the clock. Jarvis into the paint, tries to find Green standing there. He gets himself blocked, but recovers the block and puts it up and in off the glass.
I'm a fan of Green. I'm a big fan of Green. This is a guy that can shoot from the perimeter. He's physical. I kind of call him a poor man's Carmelo.
Tyrell Green averaging 9.3 points a game so far in the summer series. We got a foul there called. That's going to go against Jordan Baker. 19-16, 1 minute to play here in the first quarter. Edmonton leads Guelph.
Baker hasn't realized there's no home court advantage. That was, he just stuck out his butt and got a foul on that one, but yeah.
Miles Jarvis here, rolling it up the court here for the Nighthawks. He's got Diawara, he drives left, tries to put it off glass, no good. But the follow there by Olu Famatimi in the putback dunk.
I'll have you know that's the oldest guy in the league, but he seems to be aging like fine wine. He's getting better with time, man.
One can only hope that I will have the same trajectory. I'm not hopeful.
He definitely found the fountain of youth, but no, you know what? We had a conversation earlier in the week and just a while ago before the game, and he said he's changed his diet. He's vegetarian. I don't know how he managed it, but playing at this level as well. But he said, yeah, the diet change really helped him battle some injuries that he's had, and he's been really focused on taking care of his body. So it's played out well for him.
Kimball McKenzie misses the three. The long rebound goes to Edmonton. About 8 seconds different shot in game clock. 7 seconds more like. And a foul there. That was on Diawara. The foul is going to be charged to Olufamatimi, and Diawara is going to head to the line here. Mambi Diawara, former University of Calgary Dino legend, won a U Sports National Championship in 2018 for the Dinos. The only team in the entire decade not named the Carleton Ravens to win a championship. As a Carleton grad myself, I have no problem putting that out there. Just those facts, those raw, unbridled facts.
That should really count as 2 then.
They didn't play Carleton in the final that year, in fairness. You know, Jermaine Small and his Ryerson Rams. Jermaine was an assistant coach there, ended up beating Carleton in the semis.
There's a lot of Ryerson connection in this series.
There sure is. And an offensive foul on Matthew Kamba.
I actually had a chance to see Miles Charvis while he was at Ryerson, and he was impressive, man. He was impressive. Head over heels better than his competition. And I think, you know, I just attributed that to his work ethic. I mean, he was one of the first guys in the gym, one of the last guys to leave. So, I mean, it sounds cliche, but hard work pays off.
The shot clock is off here. Olufamatimi with it. He'll drive, and he's fouled going up there. Kareem South looks like he was in there with a reach-in as Famatimi. They're going to say he was in the act. He's going to go to the line here to shoot 2.
Famatimi's looking for that breakout game. He said he's been feeling good, but he just hasn't had that breakout game yet. And I said to him, you don't need it yet. The team is really doing well, and you guys are peaking at the right time. So, you know, when he has that game, hopefully he has it in the finals or semifinals. It'll be perfect timing.
Part of a very balanced attack for this Guelph team. Only one player averaging double digits per game. Famatimi averaging 9.8 a game as he knocks in the second free throw there. It's 20-20, all knotted up with 6 seconds to go here.
And, you know, Edmonton. Just to speak on the depth of their team, 50% of their offense, they score about 80 points per game, and 40 points come from their bench. I looked at their minutes. They're not one player is playing over 26 a minute, so it just goes to show the depth of their team.
Xavier Moon goes coast to coast to finish off the quarter with a lay-in. 22-20. Edmonton leads here going into the second quarter on CBC Gem and CJOY 1460. Come back for more.
What is 100 years? In 1920, Erhard Cook turned a passion for headwear into the New Era Cap Company in Buffalo, New York. But everyone was making this kind of hat. So we came up with the big idea to make the best caps for the biggest sport. But something wasn't quite right. We wanted to show the logos with pride. And just like that, the iconic 5950 was born, changing the baseball cap forever. For the first time, the caps the pros wore on the field were officially sold in stores. And then something unique happened. Spike Lee called, the Spike Lee, and asked to have a red Yankees cap to match his jacket. We asked Major League Baseball, and they said, we had a chance to be disruptive. Spike's red cap launched sports headwear into a wider culture. Hip-hop made it a staple. Creators made it their own. Colors, fabrics, patterns. It was more than just your favorite team. And a gold sticker on the visor became as iconic as the cap itself. And those 4 numbers, we think it's an original production number. We don't know for sure, but we love them. From courtside to Crenshaw, from the 50 to 5th, it shouted that this is who you were, what you repped, and where you lived. The world saw it and wanted it. Where were we? Staying true to our roots. Fans of all sports became fans of us. People liked what we were doing, so our brand grew, and we became more than just a cap. That's 100 years. We thank you. Enjoy what comes next.
The battle of the top 2 teams in the CEBL Summer Series is living up to the hype early on, 22-20. The Edmonton Stingers lead the Guelph Nighthawks as we kick off the second quarter with Adika Peter McNeely walking it up here against another Ryerson legend, Miles Charvis, guarding him in the backcourt. Here is Xavier Moon. He's got Anderson on him. Over to Peter McNeely as they look for an entry point. Little mid-range pull up there. No good. Grabbed there by Arledge.
Guelph giving Edmonton a little taste of their own medicine, going with that 2-3 zone, forcing them into a tough shot. So we'll see how they adjust to that.
Tredarius McCallum, one of the two import players, getting a ton of minutes here for Guelph as Corey Johnson misses a three. Rebound grab there, Peter McNeely. On the run, Diawara. And they're going to call an offensive foul on Diawara. And it looks like Corey got hit in the Johnsons.
He did a great job setting his feet early on. Seen it from a mile away. Took the charge in his chest. He's feeling it now, but
chest slightly lower than the chest. Either way,
sacrifice for the team.
Looked like he's doing all right. Glad to see it for Corey Johnson. And Miles Jarvis will walk it up here. McCallum quickly catches that mid-range pull-up. That's no good. Rebound grab by Diawara. Oh, he's got Anderson doing the Anderson thing completely in his grill. Here's Moon with it here for Edmonton. Pulls up for three. That is good. Xavier Moon knocking down another triple. Doesn't matter where he's pulling up from. 22 feet, 18 feet, 28 feet. He's money.
Doesn't matter. But you know what? The game moves at his pace. You can't speed him up. We can't do much with his pace because he can really dictate that. But that seems to be his wing over there. I seen him end in Elam ending a game the other night. It was the same shot. Came off a ball screen going to his right. Stepped into it left to right. Stopped and popped. Shot.
That, of course, was the finish to the excellent game that the Stingers played against the Hamilton Honey Badgers last week. Here's Kimball McKenzie over to Jarvis. Swings it to the corner. Anderson finds Arledge underneath. He goes up. And a foul is going to be called here on Adika Peter McNeely. John Arledge going to go to the line here to shoot two.
They thought they got away with that block shot there. I'm sure Arledge is not used to that. He's usually doing the blocking himself. He averages two blocks per game. So unfamiliar territory there.
Arledge, another one of the guys who is contributing to this balanced scoring attack for Guelph. 9.5 points a game. Just under 6 boards as well. And nearly 3 assists. Just balance all over the place all here around for Guelph. Their leading scorer is Tredarius McCallum, just 13.3 points a game. Arledge knocks it in. Travis Daniels with it here. It is 25-22 Edmonton over Guelph. 8:32 to play here in the quarter. Daniels, mid-range pull-up. That is good. Travis Daniels, cash.
I'm sure that's not what Coach Smalls drew up, but I'm sure they'll take it.
Here is Miles Jarvis on it, with it on the wing. He gives it to Arledge. A little handoff action. Down the lane is Jarvis. Gets it to go. Arledge was there just in case it popped out, but he didn't need to as Jarvis connects.
Again, Jarvis, he has a little speed on himself. I guess we're not really noticing it because we have Xavier Moon on the floor, but he is speedy himself.
Remarkable that he's just under a year from tearing his Achilles. Unbelievable that he has that kind of burst already.
And not only from tearing his Achilles, but this essentially would be his rookie year because he tore it. Well, actually, he came out last year, played a couple of games, but this is his first full season playing professional basketball coming out of an injury.
A reminder that Coventry is the official transportation partner of the CEBL Summer Series as Travis Daniels goes up. That is missed. Coventry doing a great job of moving these guys back and forth as Miles Jarvis tries to move the Nighthawks back and forth with the bucket, but no good. Here is Matthew Kamba. He'll drive. Little slithery attempted finish, but no good. And a bit of a track meet opening up here. Into the corner. Anderson for three. That's no good. Picked up by Moon.
But you know what? This is when Guelph is at their best basketball. When they're running, they're seeing guys open. And like you said, they get a lot of guys involved. So they have to keep running. They have to get out, get away from Edmonton getting into their zone so that they can get out and get guys involved. Get some shots that they're comfortable with.
Peter McNeely came off a pin down, missed a little jumper, got his own miss kept the possession alive, and he gets fouled on the baseline. 14 will be reset to the clock. John Arledge is going to sit down after picking up the foul. That's his second personal foul. And we have reached the media timeout here in the second quarter. Come back for the final 7 minutes before halftime on CBC Gem and CJOY 1460 in Guelph.
Well, when I was younger in high school, I was a pretty good athlete. Went to the provincial championships in most sports like volleyball, track, basketball, and of course the goalie. But lately I've been going up the stairs like Fred Sanford. That's why I use Inflamex. Remember, 2 M's, 2 X's.
Inflamex is formulated to relieve joint pain, helps address pain and inflammation at the cellular level, and is GMO-free and allergen-free.
I'm doing better with a little help from my friends at Bell Lifestyle Products, so you can do the things that you do best.
Oh, yeah!
Spend 2 nights in Ottawa and get $100 spending money on us. Dinner and drinks? It's on us. Or outdoor fun? It's on us. So relax. It's on us. Spend 2 nights and get $100.
A mark of legacy, a mark of our game. Spalding is the official basketball partner of the CEBL. Get your replica CEBL game ball now at cebl.ca and take our game to your courts.
Most of our clients who come through our door and who are suffering from mental illness, they're feeling a sense of despair and a longing for help. Often, insurance companies are denying disability claims on the basis that there's insufficient medical evidence. We've represented hundreds of clients who suffer from anxiety or depression. We fight for our clients' right to receive the compensation they deserve. If you've been denied long-term disability, don't give up. We can help.
Your long-term disability firm, Kotak Law.
Welcome back to the Meridian Center in St. Catharines for the CEBL Summer Series. And the Guelph, well, they're going to be missing some energy off the bench tonight. Jamal Reynolds is not available to play. He felt a little banged up after their last game, so the team and Jamal made a mutual decision to give him a day rest. They know that they will be playing in the playoffs, and so while we all certainly will miss his energy out there, we are glad that he's getting nice and fresh. Guys?
Thanks so much, Amy. Yeah, Jamal Reynolds, obviously a big part of this team, averaging just under 10 points a game, as well as it seems every player on this team is Javon. Big loss to not have him tonight, but as Amy mentioned, they're pretty much guaranteed, well, they are guaranteed to be in the playoff, in the quarters, and they are also likely to have a bye, especially if they can pick up a victory here.
Yeah, it's interesting. The standings are very tight-knit. I know with a win tonight, Edmonton can secure first place themselves. You know, I don't know how to look at it, because if they win tonight, they don't play again until Saturday. You know, if Guelph wins tonight, we could potentially have a 4-way tie for first place. So, you know, there's a lot going on, and I think a lot of this is going to come down to point differential.
Absolutely. A reminder that the fight against racial injustice is still ongoing. This is not a moment. It is a movement, and as part of the CEBL social justice work, you're going to hear players, coaches, and staff speaking out against racism all series long. Racism is not our game is featured at each baseline on the back of the warm-up shirts worn by the players as a reminder of all the work we need to do for equality in Canada. Here is Jabari Craig, turnaround on the block, no good. Xavier Moon grabbing the board there, his second board of the night. Make that his third. Moon trying to size up Marcus Anderson, kicks to the corner. Campbell drives, finds nothing. Back up top, Kamba. Campbell in the corner. That is no good. Grabbed there by Marcus Anderson. He'll push it the other way here for Guelph. Trailing by 4, 28-24. Jarvis in the corner for 3, no good. And rebound snared there by Devontae Campbell as Moon will walk it back up.
You know what I really like about Moon? Not only is he speedy, but he does a good job. Oh, my goodness. Good play. Okay. He does a really good job of using his dribble. Sometimes you have guards that over-dribble and, you know, put themselves in trouble once they get into the key. But he does a really good job of coming off ball screens, surveying the court, and getting the ball out of his hands early enough when he doesn't have a play early.
Jarvis finishes on the run there. Another thing you notice with Moon, too, is that we talk about how fast he is and how he's given our AI cameras nightmares this entire series, but he also doesn't push it when it's not necessary, and he kind of can read the game and slow things down when necessary, as Travis Daniels hits a jumper from the right side about 18 feet. He's looking pretty wet from that mid-range distance right now.
And you know what, just to touch on what you were saying, it's a lot harder to guard somebody. I know from experience. I've been switched on to some guards and I didn't know what to do. I've been on an island. But it's a lot tougher to guard, somebody that can change speeds than somebody that's going, 100 miles per hour the full way.
Adika Peter McNeely, little pull-up mid-range jump shot. That's good. And it's a 32-26 lead here for Edmonton as a timeout is called here by the Guelph Nighthawks. It's been an excellent game so far, Javon, kind of living exactly up to the hype here.
Absolutely.
What is everybody sort of noticing here in terms of trends that you're kind of keeping your eye on as we near the end of the first half?
You know what? One thing I would like to see Edmonton change is, we spoke early on in the pregame that they need to take care of the basketball. Mm-hmm. And they already have 9 turnovers today. I think if they can really tighten that up a bit, they can create a bigger gap here tonight in this lead. For Guelph, I think they need to do a better job of getting out into the open court and running. Like, half court is not their offense. It's not the best offense for them. They need to be out and running. And I think they need to, secure those rebounds, get out, run, take shots. That's what they want to do. Coach Kissy made a mention early on in preseason. We want to shoot threes. We want to get the right shots. So they have to play to their strengths, and that's been their DNA. They can't really get away from that now, come down the last stretch of the season.
Let's send things back over to Amy Audibert working the sidelines. Amy.
Yeah, Sean, earlier you were talking about the handheld whistles, and so I want to share a little bit of that story. It's truly remarkable. So Ron Foxcroft is the owner and founder of the Fox 40, a little Canadian pride, right? Because this whistle is used in leagues all over the world. And I spoke to Ron about this handheld whistle. It has been on the shelf for 10 years, and it's mostly been used in search and rescue. In fact, they've recently sold 3,000 to trained conductors in Holland. But on March 10th, when the NBA called him and said, "We need you to immediately start sending me product," Mr. Foxcroft knew that the sport was going to change in terms of officiating, and he said they're already working on the retooling of this handheld whistle to work at 140 decibels. He wants the batteries to be rechargeable and more water resistant. Guys?
Fantastic stuff, Amy. Lots of great likes being taken to make basketball happen. Joel Friesen here, a little dump-off pass there to Marcus Anderson, and he finds Famatimi. That is turned over. Friesen for 3 near the end of the clock, and a shot clock violation as it goes out of bounds. It'll be Edmonton ball after a bit of a hairy possession there for Guelph.
Again, when Edmonton gets into this zone, this 2-3 zone, for some reason Guelph seems to be, speeding up the pace of their game in the half court. At that point, you need to slow down, get the ball into the center of the defense where the gaps are. Once you have that at the high post there, look around. Guys should be open on the perimeter. The defense is going to collapse on you.
Jordan Baker, little handoff action here with Peter McNeely. He drives, and a foul is called. They want a bucket there. They want to say that's a goaltend. And the basket is good. It's going to count, so it'll be 1 free throw, a 3-point play opportunity here for Adika Peter McNeely. The foul is going to be charged to Joel Friesen, getting his first run of the night here. Joel Friesen, of course, the first overall pick in the very first CEBL draft last year by the Fraser Valley Bandits. Just a little bit ahead of Javon Shepard.
That looks like something Peter McNeely learned in Europe. Because I don't know if he was making an attempt at the basket, but he got it off the glass as the defense was coming to block it. Perfect timing.
Adika Peter McNeely doing some good work throughout the summer series so far. He played over in Europe, played for Lille Métropole in France this past year.
He was actually my teammate this past year. I was injured, and my coach had asked me about him, and he came in to replace him. He did a really good job. Maybe better than I was going to.
So you're saying he took your job?
He took my job.
Oh, right on.
He took my job. Now I'm here with you.
Always good to know that you can be a talent scout at the very least. If you get sick of me on the call here, you can go and help European teams find good Canadian talent. Peter McNeely on the wing, over to Kareem South. South to Baker. Underneath, Overwater. That's slapped away there by Famatimi. 10 on the clock, South pulls up. That's no good, but Baker on the follow gets it to go.
See, and Baker did a great job in the zone, catching it in the high post, attracting the defense, and dropped it down to Overwater, I believe it was. Even though they missed a shot, they were in place for a rebound, got the offensive rebound. Baker, of course, and easy layup for 2.
All of a sudden, it's a double-digit lead, 11 points, 37-26 here for Edmonton. Joel Friesen heard that and said, "Shut up, Sean. I'm going to hit this three." And now it's 37-29. Here's Xavier Moon in the backcourt with it. At the nail is Baker. South for three. Kareem South knocking in the three. Nice little look there from Jordan Baker.
Again, great job getting it to the high post of his zone, the whole of the zone. Defense has to they have to react. Defense collapses and you kick it out. Perfect job by Baker.
And a miss there. It's going to go back the other way here for the Stingers as they're back up by 11. Moon with it has Anderson in his shirt. Anderson's in everybody's shirt. If he's guarding you, he's in your shirt. Just assume that's the case. Back into the middle of the zone here. Overwater with it. He puts up a baseline jumper. That swirls around the bucket and falls.
Beautiful touch. Beautiful touch. And this guy, he's special, man. This is a guy that can play his back to the basket, as well as you've seen just right there. He has really soft hands. He can make shots from the outside, and just a great job. Edmonton is talented down low. They have three of their post players that are shooting above 60% around the paint area. So, I encourage them to continue going to the post and playing through the post right now.
Want to just say a quick welcome to those watching today's game on the CEBL's Twitch feed. Thousands of fans from around the world used this exciting platform yesterday and all week long to be a part of the CEBL action. Thanks for being with us and enjoy the game. Of course, plenty of action still to come. Javon and I will be back for a doubleheader tomorrow, which should be a lot of fun. But we have an excellent game going on here. Guelph looking to keep in touch, and a foul there is going to be charged to John Arledge. Travis Daniels looked like he might have got his foot stepped on. Seems to be walking it off. The Stingers are not yet in the bonus. It's just the third foul, actually, against the Nighthawks so far.
It's impressive to see Daniels out there. I've heard Amy touch on his story just the other day. I believe his sister had passed and he's unable to go back. One, because of all the protocol, and two, he wouldn't be able to return to his team. So it just goes to show the sacrifice that these players go through just to be here. Not only here, but just their commitment to this game. And it's really impressive, man. Really impressive.
Absolutely. I was wrong, by the way. The Stingers are now in the bonus as Daniels hitting that free throw is proof of. 43-29 as the Nighthawks bring it up. A couple guys visit Kimball McKenzie at half court. He throws it away, picked up there by Kareem South.
Edmonton's doing a good job switching their defenses. They're showing a 2-2-1 full court there. And, of course, Guelph sped up out of control, turned it over. So they got what they wanted out of that.
Off-balance leaner there, Jordan Baker. That is good. And a timeout is called here by Charles Kissy as things are getting out of hand a little bit here for Guelph in the second quarter. 45-29 now. The Edmonton Stingers lead after that nice make there by Jordan Baker. So Guelph, what do they have to do here now to get this back within touching distance? Minute 50 left to play here in the first half.
You know what? They need to slow down. They're doing a poor job right now of controlling the ball. They need to tighten that up. Edmonton's doing a really good job speeding them up with their defenses, switching defenses rather. They've had them in a half-court 2-3 as well. Just a while ago, we've seen them go to a 2-2-1. And again, it's forcing them to speed up. They need better guard play right now. Guys have to step up, whether it be Jarvis, McKenzie, and just control the basketball. Get guys where they need to be, find the holes in the defenses, and get the ball there. Get the ball there, allow the defense to collapse, and just make open passes. Let the game come to you, and as opposed to speeding up, per se.
Right. Yeah, they're really not giving Kimball McKenzie much in terms of room. You saw that double team you saw at half court in the last possession. And, Kimball McKenzie, it's kind of always been the case. As the Nighthawks go, Kimball McKenzie goes. And if you're Charles Kissy, you're hoping he can kind of find it once again here. A reminder, following today's game, you're going to want to stick around for a special edition of CEBL Life, presented by Ward 1 Studios, a behind-the-scenes feature on Nighthawks guard Miles Jarvis. That's following the buzzer of today's game as the man of the moment, Miles Jarvis, walks it up the floor. Here's McCallum as they try to break apart that full-court press.
And you know what? Much better job. They took their time just there, got the ball where it needs to be, the open gaps.
Jarvis into the corner. That is out of bounds off a stinger. And it's going to be 7 on the shot clock here for Guelph. Again, trailing by 16, a minute 33 to play in the first half.
You know, basketball is such a funny sport. You can read, you know, body language, and it tells you so much. Right now, Guelph looks a bit discombobulated. You can just tell guys aren't communicating as much. Shoulders are down. Guys are shrugging. Whereas Edmonton, on the other hand, there's a lot more communication. There just seems to be a lot more confidence, a lot more pop in their step.
They seem quite calm as well, whereas the Nighthawks seem kind of panicked in the half court. Here is Peter McNeely driving. He is fouled. John Arledge arms up. Disappointed with the call, but Adika Peter McNeely is going to go and shoot 2 for the Edmonton Stingers.
And that's going to hurt. That's Arledge's 4th foul. That's, you know, their main big man. So I think, you know, he's really a guy that will contest shots and change. Even if he's not blocking shots, he changes, you know, just the perception of getting into the paint. So they're going to have to play without him for some time. I hope Craig can step up in his place or go small. They're checking in green right now, so I imagine they're going to go small, so play with some small ball.
Travis Daniels just issued a warning by the official, I believe, for language. Gotta love a warning for language. Did you ever get any of those, Javon?
You know what? Luckily we had some fans at the time, so it kind of got muted out. Drowned out, rather. So
here is Peter McNeely. Knocks in his second of 2 attempts. 47-29 now, the lead here for the Stingers as that full court press works once again. Kamba steals it here. Peter McNeely for 3. That's no good. Grabbed there by Tate, and sight for sore eyes, an open floor for the Nighthawks. And he's fouled in it. And almost in unison, Matthew Kamba and Travis Daniels run together in disbelief at the call. That was some memeable stuff, I think. Not to make myself sound old by saying something is memeable, but it'll be Nighthawks ball, 21 on the clock, 59 on the game clock here in the second quarter.
Edmonton's doing a really good job of getting fresh guys in there. I imagine with their, you know, their presses and their changing defenses allows them to stay aggressive.
Once again, all over Charvis in the backcourt there is Peter McNeely. Corey Johnson drives, kicks up top. Tate tries to drive himself and comes into a couple of bodies, and this Edmonton bench is going wild as they are forcing the Nighthawks into a whole manner of mistakes right now.
Yeah, Guelph is completely out of control right now. Edmonton is just really speeding them up. There's nothing complex to what they're doing right now, just applying pressure and just forcing them to turn over the ball. They have 17 points off turnovers right now, and that just seems to be the bulk of their offense.
Xavier Ochuda, wearing number 4, has recently checked in as Zach Overwater slices down the middle, can't get it to go with the left hand. Peter McNeely in there again. He's been everywhere so far in this half.
And you know what? If you're going to turn the basketball over, you can't afford to be giving up offensive rebounds. Right now, Edmonton is just a tougher team.
The shot clock is off here for Guelph as Charvis brings it up, looking for a bucket to close out the half on a high note. McCallum with it. Up top, Green, 3 on the clock, pulls up for 3. Tyrell Green, no good. Rebound by Overwater, and the Stingers are jovial going into the half here, up 47-29. An excellent, excellent quarter here from the Edmonton Stingers as they win it 25-9 over the course of the 10 minutes here. A wonderful quarter there for the Edmonton Stingers. And we're going to send things baseline as Amy Audibert is with the MVP, Xavier Moon, to talk about that first half.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Xavier, you know, everybody on the top of their scouting report is to slow down Xavier Moon. That's it. Yet every game you come out with this type of performance and it sets the tone. What is it tonight that's working so well?
Everybody's contributing. We already knew what the game plan was coming in. Like you said, everybody want to stop me. So everybody else knows they have to step up and play their role. And I just need to keep doing what I'm doing.
Second quarter, 25-9. But let's talk about those 9 points. And you give up 29 in an entire half of basketball. Put on your coach hat for a second. Because when you go in that locker room, there's still a lot of ball to play. What adjustments, or is there anything you can change or say we need to do a little better?
I feel like we need to do a lot better on everything. We're doing pretty good right now, but I feel like we can turn it up a notch. 29 in the quarter is pretty good, but we want to see if we can hold them under 20.
You're tough. You're a tough coach. Back to you guys.
Okay, I've been working like 3 jobs. Probably why I never see ya. Probably why I never have time for the fake friends that won't be ya. Oh God, I've been running now. Up early when the sun is out. Not setting out my own soul, but those real ones, they coming out. Oh, look who's reaching out. Old friends wanna feature now. They don't work, so they need it free. Ooh, you reaching out from the west side of that old town, but there's no shows till I go down to the open mic. Show love to the real ones that know now. Some of y'all don't know now. In a couple months, you gon' find out. Been blowing up from the underground, and they stepping on and land mine now. And he knows it's my time now. Coming up, I'm on a climb now. Everybody claim they been bottom, but it's looking like they took a time out. Okay, I'm working on a Wednesday, then up again the next day. So-and-so is popping, man, I skip him like he leg day. Kick it like I'm Pele, I never care what they say. Put myself on Spotify, so every day my payday. That realness, don't feel this, but I've been sick, that illness. I've been fresh like Will Smith since 94, man, I built this. Stressed out, X'd out, missed calls from my ex now. But I'm staying focused in the lab, baby, I don't need your calls or your text now. God say the boy blessed now. Who am I to say Rondo? And the way that I sell ticks, they been calling me Rondo. 23 in my prime though, finna ball like Lonzo. Go and tell everybody talking stage better be in that convo,
(47-29), the Edmonton Stingers lead the Guelph Nighthawks in the battle of the top 2 teams so far in the CEBL Summer Series. Second half coming up. Before that, though, we have a loaded halftime show for you, including another part of Amy Audbert's long sit-down with Commissioner Mike Morreale. We've got yesterday in the CEBL, a recap of all the action from yesterday's games, too. We'll also come back. We'll talk about the keys to the game and how both teams are holding up to what Javon Shepard said they needed to be doing before the game began, and we'll also have the halftime stats presented by BetCris. That's all coming up here at the halftime show, the CEBL Summer Series 2020.
Well, when I was younger in high school, I was a pretty good athlete. Went to the provincial championships in most sports like volleyball, track, basketball, and of course the goalie. But lately I've been going up the stairs like Fred Sanford. That's why I use Inflamex. Remember, 2 M's, 2 X's.
Inflamex is formulated to relieve joint pain, helps address pain and inflammation at the cellular level, and is GMO-free and allergen-free.
I'm doing better with a little help from my friends at Bell Lifestyle Products, so you can do the things that you do best.
Oh, yeah!
Spend 2 nights in Ottawa and get $100 spending money on us. Dinner and drinks, it's on us. Or culture and sightseeing, it's on us. So relax, it's on us. Spend 2 nights and get $100.
Welcome to Payworks. We're payroll, HR, and time and absence management experts. So whether your business has thousands of employees or just one, let us show you how we're different. We're Payworks, and we're doing business to business, person to person.
It's time to rep your CEBL pride, Canada. Exclusive new era merchandise is now available on CEBL.ca. Buy your favorite hats, replica jerseys, t-shirts, hoodies, and more. Welcome to our game. Edmonton Stingers fans, get 12% off 2021 season tickets by placing your $50 deposit before August 9th, 2020. Visit CEBL.ca/thestingers and take advantage of this exclusive Summer Series offer. Welcome to a new basketball experience. Nighthawks fans, right now you can get 12% off 2021 season tickets by placing your $50 deposit before August 9th, 2020. Visit thenighthawks.ca and take advantage of this exclusive Summer Series offer. Welcome to a new basketball experience.
Teams have been prepared and ready.
Again, welcome to everybody watching on CBC Gem, cbcsports.ca, and listening on TSN 1200 in Ottawa, the nation's capital. Trying to pull it down, but it's the Blackjacks with defensive rebound. Shaquille Keith, bounce pass. Olivier Hanlon, 3-ball. Is Cash Money. A perfect start for the Blackjacks at 7-0. Another steal. This time, 2-2. Transition. He invited the contact, hang, bang, and drop. Foul on Khalif Young, three-point play coming up. Hamilton has not got, they just get inside the three-point line now. Agata is active, but he's sent back. He finds a wide-open Klassen for a two-handed slam. Field goal, three-point shot will be a game winner for the Blackjacks. He short-armed it, Minus Tutu, and I think we're going to end it on a goaltend.
Yes, the ball hit the backboard, and as soon as it hits the backboard, you can't touch it. So if the referee designates the ball off the backboard, it's automatic goal.
In the middle, it'll be the River Lions with an advantage at the size of Sam Muldrow. Klassen up top. Oh, and he is wiped out. Big block by Edgem. Kick out. DeVivier almost lost Pinson there. DeVivier, tough take, capers. Stick back jam, two hands to be safe. Floats it to Watson. Watson wanted that ball because he had the smaller player on him. That is huge. Catches Robertson from the land beyond. He's going to have to rush it. He finds Cadogan. Smart move. And Junior Cadogan banged it home. Oh, an inbound. And the foul. Welcome to Vivier. Game on the line. It's good. Kyle Julius drew it up perfectly coming out of the timeout.
What is 100 years? In 1920, Earhart Cook turned a passion for headwear into the new era cap company in Buffalo, New York. But everyone was making this kind of hat. So we came up with the big idea to make the best caps for the biggest sport. But something wasn't quite right. We wanted to show the logos with pride. And just like that, the iconic 5950 was born, changing the baseball cap forever. For the first time, the caps the pros wore on the field were officially sold in stores. And then something unique happened. Spike Lee called, the Spike Lee, and asked to have a red Yankees cap to match his jacket. We asked Major League Baseball, and they said, we had a chance to be disruptive. Spike's red cap launched sports headwear into a wider culture. Hip-hop made it a staple. Creators made it their own. Colors, fabrics, patterns. It was more than just your favorite team. And a gold sticker on the visor became as iconic as the cap itself. And those 4 numbers, we think it's an original production number. We don't know for sure, but we love them. From courtside to Crenshaw, from the 50 to 5th, it shouted that this is who you were, what you repped, and where you lived. The world saw it and wanted it. Where were we? Staying true to our roots. Fans of all sports became fans of us. People liked what we were doing, so our brand grew, and we became more than just a cap. That's 100 years. We thank you. Enjoy what comes next.
Follow the Edmonton Stingers on social media right now to get the latest news, updates, and behind-the-scenes access that the Stingers have to offer. Follow the Guelph Nighthawks on social media right now to get the latest news, updates, and behind-the-scenes access that the Nighthawks have to offer.
Elam ending. Now we've seen closer games. We've seen a couple not so close games. What are your thoughts on the way we're finishing off the series every night?
Yeah, well, the good thing is that, yeah, you're right. There's been maybe only a handful of games that are relatively close, but each one of those games, once we get to Elam, has created more drama, right? There's been comebacks. You know, Edmonton had a comeback a couple nights ago, and they were down big, and then they rolled back to get within 10. And you know, it wasn't a win, but it does prove that, okay, no time on the clock. Let's go down, shoot some threes, get some open shots. For those that have been leading, you know, I felt a little scared for those guys sometimes. It's not as easy as you think to close out a game. So it's been fantastic. And as we get closer and, you know, the teams feel each other out a little bit more, we're going to get more close games going into Elam, which is going to make even more exciting.
We're talking about national coverage. It was pretty cool to look on Twitter and see the CEBL trending across the country.
It is cool, especially for a guy like me who has no idea what that even means. So I had asked my young staff, hey, what is it, trending? Is that a good thing? But that just goes to show that organic growth I talked about. And in time, we are going to be in places we want to be. Right now, we have a tremendous partner in CBC. They have taken it upon themselves. They are the Olympic network. They understand where we fit into their values and their road to the Olympics, and specifically in basketball, both men's and women's. So, anything we can do to help broadcast what we do and what we're about and the talent that's here and trend and grow is an incredible part of the journey. And in years from now, we'll be able to look back and say that was the first time, but not the last.
Can't kill them. Here's Mullings though, and Mullings ends the game. A valiant effort from Hamilton, but in the end, Niagara, they win this one in Elam.
Welcome back to Meridian Center here in beautiful downtown St. Catharines, Ontario. Sean Woodley, Javon Shepard here, getting ready for the second half between the Edmonton Stingers and the Guelph Nighthawks, 47-29. The Stingers lead right now, on track to move to 5-1 in the round robin and lock up first overall in the CEBL Summer Series, punching their ticket to the semifinals with a win. It is a big half here for the Guelph Nighthawks as they look to move to 4-1 and maintain their position near the top of the CEBL standings. If they can't pull it out, they'll be in a dogfight with the other teams there in that mix for the 2 seed and that other bye to the semifinals, Javon.
Yeah, it's going to be tough coming down the stretch. Hopefully they can pull it up or at least bring it closer, because point difference does make a difference as well in the standings. So, hopefully they can pull it together or, at least get their confidence going into their next match.
We are going to send things down to the baseline here as Amy Audibert, the third member of our broadcast team, is joined by Charles Kissy, head coach of the trailing Guelph Nighthawks. Amy.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Coach, scoring was obviously the problem, particularly in that second quarter. So what happened? How do you fix it?
Turnovers, I thought, were a bigger problem. 17 fast break points or points off turnovers for them. We got to take care of the ball. We got to take better care of the ball, and we got to be more aggressive. We just kind of felt like they were eating our confidence a little bit for some reason, and unnecessary, right? We're in good shape. So we just got to take better care of the ball, take better shots, and fight.
Coach, we appreciate your comment.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy, and thanks to Charles Kissy, head coach of the Guelph Nighthawks, for taking the time. Javon, let's take a look back at your keys to the game and how these teams are holding up to those after the first half. Let's start with the Guelph Nighthawks, who trail by 18.
You know what? We spoke about transition basketball, and they have 2 points in transition tonight. That's not enough at any level, so they're going to have to turn that around there. As well, we want them to control Moon. He has 10 points, 1 assist tonight, halfway, to his average. But I think, the more important thing is if we can just deny, the perimeter, force him to score. Let him score, and don't allow him to get other guys involved. Bench contribution. They have 18 points from the bench tonight, but they're doing a poor job of, controlling the ball and handling the pressure. So they could do a little bit more there.
Absolutely. We take a look at the Edmonton keys to the game now. How are they holding up?
The key for them was to win the battle of the boards. They have 24 boards tonight. 8 of those are offensive, so they're doing a really good job there. We also wanted them to take care of the basketball. 9 turnovers. They can do a little better, but again, they're winning. So they're winning, and they're applying pressure on them. You can't really do much there. Play through their big men. We've seen a lot of play between Jordan Baker and Overwater, as well as Jordan's catching the ball in the high post and really creating shots for guys on the perimeter. So they're doing a really good job there playing through their bigs.
In addition, Travis Daniels leading the way for Edmonton with 11 points so far. Let's take a look here at the halftime stats presented by BetCris. You mentioned the rebounding battle significantly in the favor of Edmonton. That'll happen when you've missed as many shots as Guelph has so far. Assists pretty even, 9-7 edge there for Edmonton. Blocks, they're leading as well, and steals, they are well out in front when it comes to picking off passes and going the other way. A lot to do with that full court pressure they showed for the last bit of that first half.
Yeah, but you know what? They're trying different things. And it's working for them. I think they're just going to continue to press the gas and apply pressure. Right now they're in a position where they can essentially have 4 days off with a victory tonight. So I'm indifferent there. You have really no choice. You win this game, you have 4 days off. You don't, you're back playing a little earlier. So I imagine the rest will be good for them going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that, Javon. So if Edmonton wins here, just because the schedule worked out the way it did and trying to schedule a 7-team series over the course of 2 weeks, it's pretty difficult. It turns out that Edmonton finishes off their round-robin schedule today. If they end up getting the bye, they don't play again until Saturday in the semifinals. Is that something that, like you said, is the rest something that could be a beneficial thing, considering how quickly all these games have been played to get to 6 already? Or is it something that could work against them not playing and then coming all of a sudden into a game where it's do or die?
You know what? Rest is you can't, in a series like this that's so short, such a short window, rest is always good. But the most important thing is how a guy's going to take care of their body over that stretch.
Right.
As well as, ramping it up come time to play, closer to time to play, just so that their body reacts a little better to, getting back onto the 5 out there playing 5-on-5. Because there's no way you can really simulate that game speed even in practice. So it just depends on how they manage it.
Second half gets going here. Kimball McKenzie will walk it up here for Guelph. Thanks for joining us on CBC Gem and CJOY in Guelph. 1460 is the number of the station out there in the Royal City. Here is Marcus Anderson with it off a handoff from Jabari Craig. He'll pull up from 3 with 2 guys in his grill, and he hits it in both of their grills. Xavier Moon a little bit slow to get up there, but he looks to be okay, and he's got the ball now. Grimacing a tad, but looks to be all right. Xavier Moon with it. He moves to the left. A little handoff there to Diawara. Takes the screen from Daniels. Finds Moon over on the wing. Dumps it down to Daniels, now in the post. He gets it up to Jordan Baker. Pump fake, drives. That is good. Little lefty floater for Jordan Baker. He makes it work. The weird finishes that he pulls up with, but they work.
You know what? That finish was just, I'm just stronger than you.
Tredarius McCallum's blocked there by Machukamba. It's going to stay with Guelph, who trail 49-32. Keep in mind, the Elam ending kicks in with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and a target score will be set. 9 points added to the team in the lead score at the time. Here is Tyrell Green in down to Kimball McKenzie, but he stepped out of bounds and he knew it, and it's going to be Edmonton ball just over a minute here into the second half proceedings here at Meridian Center.
Those ones suck. Your foot on the sideline, you can already see, you can envision the basket. You've already counted 2 points, and you know that, okay, I have 4 points now, 6 points, whatever. And then you hear the whistle, ref, sideline, turnover.
As an uncoordinated person with very little spatial awareness, I guarantee you I would step out of bounds just about every possession trying to go to the corner if I were a basketball player. There is Kimball McKenzie, misses the 3, but Jabari Craig on the follow puts it back off glass.
And Jabari Craig's a guy that you really have to watch. He's a bit raw. I remember seeing him a couple months ago, actually last year rather, and he was just in a gym working out with my nephew. And I was just surprised that, where did this talent, this guy that this size come from? So he's a guy that's going to really benefit from this league as far as developing and having the ability to play against, high-level pros. But I imagine over the next couple of years, we're going to really see him, be turned into one of the premier bigs in this league.
The answer to that question is, of course, he went to East Carolina. He graduated last year. Here is Travis Daniels. Pull-up mid-range jumper. He's been good from there today, but that is miss for Travis Daniels. And Marcus Anderson has it here, the former Carleton standout. McCallum for 3. That is good. Tredarius McCallum, good start here in the half for Guelph. They now trail just by 12, 49-37.
And you know what? Guelph is now playing to their strengths. They're getting up and down the court at their own pace, kicking it to guys that are open and getting open shots that they're comfortable taking. So this is what we wanted them to do, or they wanted to do early on, and it's working for them right now.
Bell Lifestyle Products is proud to provide natural health products for elite athletes of the CEBL, retired athletes, and weekend warriors alike. Never stop doing your thing. Men's health empowered by nature. Bell Lifestyle Products. Here is Jordan Baker on the baseline off the inbound. Here's Diawara, and a foul is going to be called there on Kimball McKenzie. That's going to be the third team foul so far.
Did they count the basket?
Looks like they've counted the basket for Diawara. Yeah, I didn't even realize it seemed so early to be in the shooting motions, but it counts. Thanks for catching that, Javon. I would have just gone on acting as though I hadn't seen it. And Diawara now to the line to complete the three-point play.
Edmonton's done a really good job tonight, or Baker rather, of playing on the baseline, and guys are filling the the baseline passes for him. Duara there took the 1-dribble pull-up off of that and created an advantage for himself. Got an and one. Tough shot. You never want to foul shooters.
Tyrell Green, his three is too heavy, misses everything, and into the hands of Baker, who skips it up the floor. Again, a little unorthodox with everything he does, but it seems to work. Although it doesn't work there, it's turned over. It's Guelph ball. McKenzie takes it the other way. McCallum finds Green in the paint. Little floater. That is good. Tyrell Green.
Good job. Guelph has to do a better job of playing on the catch. When they play on the catch and they're aggressive, they're really good.
Travel called there on Matthew Kamba. Kotak Law, the official law firm of the CEBL Summer Series, knows these times have been hard for many Canadians. That is why they are donating $7,000 to the Canadian Mental Health Association and invite CEBL fans to join them. Visit cmha.ca today and join Anish Kotak in supporting the mental health of Canadians from coast to coast. McCallum in the corner for three. That is no good. Rebound there by Matthew Kamba. He'll bring it up. 13-point lead here, still for the Stingers. Kamba. Baker on the wing. Sorry, Javon. We were doing the thing where you walk on the sidewalk, you can't decide who's going which way.
No, Coach Smalls, he's been pacing back and forth on the sideline here. I think he's not really impressed with what he's seen out of his guys coming out of the half. But, it's interesting because he has a lot of respect from his guys. And I've seen that, they started out 4-4 last year, finished 14-16, so it just goes to show the type of respect that he has bringing back 7 guys.
Timeout Guelph after that triple made by Daniels, and we'll move to the media timeout on CBC Gem and CJOY 1460. Follow the Ottawa Blackjacks on social media right now to get the latest news, updates, and behind-the-scenes access that the CEBL's newest club has to offer. Follow the Hamilton Honey Badgers on social media right now to get the latest news, updates, and behind-the-scenes access that the Honey Badgers have to offer. Welcome back inside Meridian Center as Adika Peter McNeely at the line here to shoot a technical free throw. Charles Kissy teed up during the break. Not too pleased with the officiating going into that last timeout, and Guelph will now take over. 56-39 the score here in favor of Edmonton.
That's pretty interesting. Coach Kissy's usually mild-mannered, so I guess he's really not pleased with some of the action going on here.
Here is Kimball McKenzie going up for the floater, is fouled in the process. He's going to go to the line to shoot two. It's McKenzie, McCallum, Craig, Anderson, and Green on the floor here for Guelph. Adika Peter McNeely, Kareem South, Kamba, Daniels, and Baker out there for Edmonton. 6:33 to go here in the third quarter. McKenzie to the line. So far, McKenzie today, 7 points, 2 of 5 shooting. Now up to 8 points with the made free throw. And the second is good as well. And it will be Kareem South bringing it to the floor here for the Stingers. He finds Baker. And Daniels now up top. Smacks the ball. Looking for an outlet. He finds Kareem South. He'll take a Daniels screen now over to Baker for 3. That's no good. Rebound grab there by Tyrell Green. Green up to Marcus Anderson. Anderson with it. Back over to Green. Into the post for Craig. Finds Anderson down in the right corner and swings back to Craig. Now McKenzie with it on the left wing. 5 on the shot clock. Back up top to McCallum. 3 on the clock. McCallum needs to get something off. Puts up a mid-range jumper. That is no good. And they're going to call shot clock violation before it hit the rim on the putback attempt. Guelph disagrees, but I think that's the right call, Javon.
Yeah, definitely the right call there. Edmonton's doing a really good job of applying pressure on the perimeter. And you know what? They have guys that are interchangeable. So as soon as one, you come off a ball screen, there's another defender right in front of you. So they're really doing a good job. And I don't know if it's as much as ball pressure or they just have really, they have length on the perimeter that's really causing Guelph some problems.
Peter McNeely gets it there to Baker. He finds Overwater, recently checked into the game for Daniels. Baker will drive. Lefty finish, can't get it to go, and there is Kamba there to clean up the garbage.
I've seen Kamba with his head at the rim about 4 times tonight. I'll go as far as to say he probably has a 40-inch vertical.
Here's McKenzie. He's fouled in the corner. The foul is going to be charged to Jordan Baker, and it's going to be 3 free throws here for Kimball McKenzie. You mentioned the 40-inch vertical there for Matthew Kamba. Javon, what's your vertical now?
Now. Oh, my goodness.
What was it then? What was it now? You don't have to say now if you don't want to.
I had about a 40 then, but now I'm probably at I want to say 5.
Still better than mine. That was not a shooting foul, by the way. It was on the floor, and it's going to be Edmonton ball. As Charles Kissy takes a look over to the broadcast table, we share a smile. Here is Peter McNeely on the wing. Into the corner, the post for Baker up top. Peter McNeely for 3. That's no good. Baker trying to crash. Peter McNeely comes up with it. Tries to find South underneath. That ends up in the hands of Jabari Craig after a mad scramble for the ball. Here is Tredarius McCallum with it. McCallum over to Kimball McKenzie. Drives, leaves. Baker falling to the ground. Can't get the mid-range shot to go, though.
They've done a really good job with McCallum tonight. He's usually their guy that can get you some offense when things are a little silent. So it'll be interesting to see if he can get something going later on tonight.
Here's Jordan Baker with it. He gets that slapped away there by McKenzie. It's in the hands now of Anderson. Outlet pass up to Green. Green underneath to McKenzie, and that is stuffed by Jordan Baker, getting back and pinning it against the glass.
He doesn't have a 40-inch, but he maybe has a 20, but some good timing, there.
It's enough, and he comes back the other way after the block and puts it away with the left hand.
Baker is gassed, but he's the heart and soul of this team, man. Hometown guy, hometown hero, and you know what? You can call him Mr. Elam. He's had 2 game-winning shots in this with this new Elam ending summer series here. So I'm looking for him to end the game when we get to 4 minutes of the fourth quarter here.
Tyrell Green hits the 3 from the corner. It's now 60-44 in favor of Edmonton as we are within 4 minutes of the end of the third quarter. Here is Zach Overwater, pump fake, gathers, shoots, no good from 3. Rebound grabbed there by Anderson, although Baker's in there again. Finding it, getting it to Kamba. Peter McNeely in the corner for 3. That is rebounded on the miss by McKenzie. Kamba in his shirt. Edmonton must be just horribly annoying to play against tonight if you're Guelph. Here's McKenzie. Over to the wing for Anderson. Down to the post for Green. Up top, here's McCallum for 3. That is no good. Rebound grab there, and guess who? It's Jordan Baker on the glass. He does look gassed right now, doesn't he, Javon?
I'm gonna bet, if I was a gambling man, I would bet that this next sub is for Baker.
Here's Overwater going up, off glass, it's good, and 1 Overwater to the line to complete the 3-point play. Just a reminder, everybody, while you're watching the game, the 2021 CEBL season ticket drive is well underway and will continue only throughout the CEBL Summer Series. Visit nighthawks.ca or thestingers.ca to place your $50 deposit and receive a 12% discount and secure your 2021 season tickets. You want to get those tickets for next year if you are a fan of the CEBL. No fans this year, of course, Javon, but the atmosphere for these games is always electric when you have people in the crowd. In particular, I called a lot of games in Guelph last year, and the crowd for Guelph, for a team that was not necessarily very good, was bonkers pretty much start to finish every single game. Now, Guelph gave them reason as they fell down by quite a bit often, then it would make these uproarious comebacks, but still, wonderful atmosphere to bring the family out to a CEBL game once that's allowed again.
But you know what? As much as the game is developing, so is the love for the game and the fan base. And I think, you know, with a lot of these teams being in some beautiful cities, we're going to have a lot more families. And I think even the Elam ending is going to contribute to that, because you're going to have a lot of game-winning shots. And these kids are going to love that, right? It's going to be family-friendly, and these guys are going to be hometown heroes, small-town heroes.
Miles Jarvis drives in the lane there, can't get it to go off glass. It's 62-44 as Xavier Moon is back in the game, which is bad news for Guelph that they couldn't win the minutes where he was on the bench.
He's a little banged up, so maybe he'll be of equal speed now.
Just average, incredibly fast person. Foul is called on number 2 of the Nighthawks. That is, of course, Olufe Matimi, as Adika Peter McNeely is going to go to the line here. Feels like he's been at the line quite a bit tonight so far.
He's been active. You know, he's somebody that should have a breakout game sometime soon as well. But, you know, when your team is having so much success, there's not that much pressure for you to really, you know, overexert yourself. You can really just pace, and as the season goes on, or the series goes on rather, you can slowly come into your own and peak when it's necessary.
Adika Peter McNeely hits the second free throw, goes 2 for 2 from the line. Now a 20-point lead here for the Stingers. Again, looking to sure up top spot in the CEBL. There is Anderson driving, lefty finish. He's fouled. He's going to go to the line, Marcus Anderson. Again, I've said it a lot. I'm really impressed by Marcus Anderson so far here in the Summer Series, Javon. He's been outstanding defensively and doing more offensively than you would expect a guy fresh out of Carleton to really provide.
There's that Carleton again. But you know what? He's a guy, the most impressive thing, I think guys that play both ends of the floor are always able to find a way to impact the game, whether it be, you know, defensive steals, whether it be defensive deflections, rebounds, and you know, offense comes to you then, because you get easy steals, get easy baskets in transition, and then you start to flow a bit more. So, you know, guys that are two-way guys always find a way to not only get themselves involved, help their team, but find a way to impact the game.
Carleton, a factory of very good basketball players and mediocre floral shirt-wearing broadcasters. Thank you for being with us here today. There is Xavier Moon up top after Anderson goes 1 of 2 at the line. He has Corey Johnson on him. He's shaking, he's baking, he drives, tries to go up high off glass, no good at the buzzer for Xavier Moon.
See, that's one of the plays where he got away from what we spoke on earlier. When he's not dribbling much, he's really effective. That's a play where he kind of got out of character, a lot of dribbles, and you see the results there.
Back the other way after the miss. Here is Devontae Campbell in the post, looking for an outlet. He's picked up his dribble, finds Moon very harrily, but he does. And here's Moon over to the wing. Peter McNeely on the left side for 3. That is good. Adika Peter McNeely set up there by Xavier Moon.
That was a great job. Peter McNeely slipped the ball, faked the screen rather, flared off for a 3.
There is Xavier Moon after another miss, rebounded there by Peter McNeely. Now just 42 seconds on the clock in the quarter. And a foul is going to be called here. It looks like on Zach Overwater.
Peter McNeely shouting out his hometown, Malvern, again after that 3. He said he's going to make an effort to put on for his city after this.
So the foul is on Overwater. It'll be back in the hands of the Nighthawks with 41 seconds to play. In the meantime, a reminder to stick around following today's CEBL doubleheader, as the man who's just about to receive the inbound pass, Miles Jarvis, has a wonderful Ward 1 Studios production prepared, the CEBL Life on Miles Jarvis after this game. Behind-the-scenes feature on the Nighthawks Guard as soon as we wrap up our broadcast here. Here is Corey Johnson with it. Over to Charvis. Charvis drives, tries to finish. He can't get it to go. Tough night so far for Charvis as Overwater brings it the other way. Campbell in the paint, puts it up, and a travel is called on Devontae Campbell. Guelph ball, trailing by 22 here. 22 seconds to play as well in this quarter.
I understand the travel, but to see Zach Overwater get the rebound and push the ball full court and make a bounce pass, that is a skilled big man. That's a really good skilled big man.
As a sucker for guys like Marc Gasol, big men with skills like that are just like, they melt my heart very quickly. Here is Miles Charvis. Sees a couple bodies at the top of the pick and roll. Corey Johnson for three. That's no good. Just a second on the clock here. It'll bring it to the end of the third quarter with the score 67-45 in favor of the Edmonton Stingers. The fourth quarter and the Elam ending coming up on the other side here on CBC Gem and CJOY 1460 in Guelph.
Elam ending is upon us, and they take the timeout to set the target score. Gets up into the air, gets it to go! Not there, Boucard in the corner for three. Guillaume Boucard at the buzzer, drains it, and the Niagara River Lions get out of here with a 93-92 victory.
Well, when I was younger in high school, I was a pretty good athlete. Went to the provincial championships in most sports like volleyball, track, basketball, and of course the goalie. But lately I've been going up the stairs like Fred Sanford. That's why I use Inflamex. Remember, 2 M's, 2 X's.
Inflamex is formulated to relieve joint pain, helps address pain and inflammation at the cellular level, and is GMO-free and allergen-free.
I'm doing better with a little help from my friends at Bell Lifestyle Products, so you can do the things that you do best.
Oh, yeah.
Most of our clients who come through our door and who are suffering from mental illness, they're feeling a sense of despair and a longing for help. Often, insurance companies are denying disability claims on the basis that there's insufficient medical evidence. We've represented hundreds of clients who suffer from anxiety or depression. We fight for our clients' right to receive the compensation they deserve. If you've been denied long-term disability, don't give up. We can help.
Your long-term disability firm, Kotak Law.
Fourth quarter time here on CBC Gem and on CJOY Radio 1460 in Guelph as the Edmonton Stingers lead the Guelph Nighthawks 67-55 here to begin the fourth quarter. Mambi Diawara for three, that's no good. Tapped out. Corey Johnson with it here for the Nighthawks as they look to catch up a little bit here before the Elam ending kicks in. A foul is going to be called here on Diawara. Guelph, every point here matters as you try to get a little bit closer before the Elam ending begins.
Right. And you have to pay attention to this first 6 minutes if you're a Guelph, because this is essentially the quarter, your quarter. This is the opportunity where you can really chop down the score. And, obviously point difference matters. So this is the key point. This is these key minutes for them.
Joel Friesen knocks in a three, and with that, we're going to send things over to Amy Audibert. Amy.
Yeah, I was just going to jump in, and don't forget the biggest thing here is the point difference, because yes, if Edmonton wins, they capture one, but number two also still gets a bye. Guelph is going to be competing for that second spot. Point differential is huge. They are not going to lay off and go easy here, guys. They have got to continue to get stops and score the basketball, regardless of the score in this game, guys.
Excellent point there, Amy. Not just playing against these Stingers here, playing against the other three teams that could land in a tie potentially for that number 2 seed, including the Hamilton Honey Badgers, the
Fraser Valley
Bandits. That's the other team I'm thinking about.
Right. Who they've also qualified into the next round, into the playoffs rather.
Yeah.
So they've all moved on so far. So I hope they're not taking a back seat or relaxing yet.
Certainly can't be relaxing, as Amy mentions. The point differential is absolutely huge here. Of course, if Guelph can figure things out here and pull back, we could have potential for a 4-way tie at 4-2 atop the standings if Guelph can pull this one out.
That would make things fun.
Certainly. Also make this game very fun as well. Here's Olu Famatimi. He's got it. He'll try to kick it. It's off his hand, and it's going to be Stinger's ball. Just over a minute down in the quarter as Charles Kissy eggs on. You can probably hear him through my mic right now, just egging on his squad to play defense. There's no crowd. He's got to make up for it, you see.
Guelph is a bit more aggressive on the basketball. I think they're throwing, it looks like they're throwing a second defender at Xavier Moon in the backcourt, but
there have been worse ideas.
It might be a bit too late.
Corey Johnson on the run. He can't get that to go out on the break. It's off of a Stinger, and it's going to be Guelph ball. A bit of a break there for Guelph after the miss by Johnson. Right now on the floor for Guelph, it's Charvis, Friesen, Johnson, Tate, and Famatimi, and they are going to overturn that. It will be Edmonton ball.
I've always heard from past coaches of mine, if a team loses by more than 20 or more, that's on the players and their effort. If it's 5 or less, he just got out-coached. Coaches got out-coached. So would this be a case of effort tonight?
I mean, if you're asking Charles Kissy, I'm sure he would say that, yes. But Edmonton's been really good as well. Hard to denigrate anything they're doing as Xavier Moon pulls up. You can't get that to go. Here is Terrell Tate. He'll walk it up. Or run it up quite quickly, I should say. He'll drive into the paint, and he's going to go to the line fouled. He will shoot to Terrell Tate. The first-year Guelph Nighthawk, the second-year CEBL player, spent last year playing 19 games out of the 20 played by the Fraser Valley Bandits, one of the very few mainstays on that team that had a whole lot of roster turnover throughout the year.
It's been a bit out of control tonight, but you know, to his credit, he is active on the floor. So you have to take the good with the bad.
Tate misses the first. Again, every point here matters. Even the free throws when it comes to getting things closer ahead of the Elam ending. Tate steps to the line, couple bounces, and misses the second as well. And not doing themselves any favors right now are the Nighthawks. Here is Matthew Kamba driving and just bullies his way to the basket. Matthew Kamba may have hooked a little bit with the arm, but didn't get caught, and it worked. Here's Friesen for 3. That's good. Joel Friesen countering.
You know, I think that was just payback for a little hip check Tate had on Moon earlier. So Kamba just taking care of his teammates, looking out for them. So you always need one of those enforcers.
It's a well-knit team, this is.
Yeah.
Here's Travis Daniels working on the block. A reminder, the next Nighthawks game is August 5th when they take on the Fraser Valley Bandits. That one starting at 5 p.m. And that one could have huge implications for the 2 seed and that second bye going into the semifinals. You don't want to have to play 3 days and 4 if you can avoid it. Thursday the quarters, Saturday the semis. The final, of course, goes on Sunday. The Stingers will conclude their round robin today, of course, and we'll watch the games on CBC Gem along with all of you. Maybe they'll be on Twitch. Either way, they will be taking some time off after this. A shot clock violation here. Looking for 1 on the clock.
You know what, it's funny, we spoke a lot about the standings, and I laughed earlier because if this was in Europe, where a couple of the teams I've played, management would be looking at the standings and seeing who they want to avoid and who they want to play in going into playoffs, and could potentially sabotage games. So it's just funny to see that it's completely 2 different cultures and philosophies of basketball where, you know, here, the North American way, win every game.
Yeah.
Some of the experiences I've had in Europe have been, okay, you know what, guys? We're going to play this game, but we're just going to play it. We're not going to.
Travis Daniels can't get it to go. So that's the European way and the 2014 Brooklyn Nets way, if you recall. Here is Xavier Moon trying to dump it into Daniels, who's going to be called for the off-ball foul. A little chippy here. Foul's going back and forth. Guelph with it, still down 20. And we're now just 2 minutes and 52 seconds away from from the Elam ending kicking in upon the first stoppage under that 4-minute mark. Marcus Anderson will walk it up here. He's got Xavier Moon on him.
It's getting chippy with a 20-point lead. I can't imagine what it would be with, within 5 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, when this that lends itself well to a potential knockout round matchup between these two teams as well, if that does come to pass.
Right.
In terms of at least intensity. Here is Arledge. He's fouled by Daniels. He is going to go to the line. Daniels picking up another personal. Arledge will go to the line here to shoot 2. And a timeout is called here. Arledge will take free throws afterwards. The timeout is charged to the Edmonton Stingers. Javon, the Guelph Nighthawks, trailing by 20 right now. Just 2.5 minutes to go here. Obviously, things have not gone well. We've talked about how point differential matters. We've talked about how if you're down when the Elam ending starts, that doesn't necessarily preclude you from a comeback. You're not up against the clock. You're just up against your own ability to get stops and then score buckets.
Absolutely.
So if you're Charles Kissy right now, 2.5 minutes, what's the game plan here other than just score buckets?
You need buckets, but I think most importantly, you need to, give Edmonton a taste of their own medicine right now and just apply pressure. Apply pressure, get some turnovers, and get out and get some baskets. Like you said, you're not playing against time anymore. You're playing against baskets. And I think if they, if you can't overcome this and get a victory tonight, you get small wins, right? You need to get small wins. And again, it's going to be a tight-knit standings. You need points. Point differential is going to be a big thing come down the stretch. So again, if it's not a victory, there's a small victory within it, and that's just obviously lessening this deficit. Just putting some points on the board to land that second position.
Absolutely. As we get set here for John Arledge to return and take his 2 free throws for the Nighthawks, looking to cut the deficit to 18, 71-51. Thanks again to everyone joining us on CBC Gem, CBCSports.ca, and those listening in up in Guelph. Hello, friends. They're listening on CJOY 1460 as John Arledge, one of the imports for the Nighthawks, steps to the line for 2 free throws.
He's been relatively quiet tonight. Usually averages around 10 points per game. They've held up. Well, this is his 5th now, so hopefully he can get something going.
Yep, quiet night for Arledge so far. Not a lot of minutes played either for Arledge. We haven't seen a ton of him out there. Just 9 minutes so far in the game for Arledge. He hits both free throws. It's now an 18-point deficit. Well, and it's into Baker.
They've come out with a bit more pressure.
McCallum on Baker at half court. He gets it over to Moon. Marcus Anderson, known to bring pressure, is on Moon. Tate now guarding McNeely on the right wing. 9 on the shot clock. McNeely finds a mid-range pull-up, and he cans it. That is a tough shot for Adika Peter McNeely. Malvern indeed.
Malvern's finest.
Here is Marcus Anderson with it. He thinks about it, pulls back, finds Arledge underneath with a beautiful pass, but it's blocked there by Daniels. Arledge fights for it and puts it up and in. That was a really nice pass from Marcus Anderson to find him there. I'm not sure how he did it. Here's Moon underneath. Kamba puts it up. He is fouled, fallen to the ground, and he is going to go to the line. Matthew Kamba, who hit the first Elam ending winner for Edmonton in this series. First of 4 that have been hit, of course, by this team. 2 by Baker, 1 by Moon, 1 by Kamba.
Xavier Moon is a one-man press break.
It is quite alarming to see that dude in the open floor. When you're a teammate, have you ever played with a teammate who's that fast? And is it like difficult to keep up?
And it's frustrating because when he gets the basketball and starts to running, it's fast break, but you can never catch him. So
right.
He's ahead of you with the ball always, and it doesn't even matter if you get a head start.
I'll be the trailer. Don't worry. I'll be the trailer.
Then you have your point guard frustrated with you for not running, and you're looking at him like, I am running.
Slow down,
I'm
dude.
running.
Slow down. Bit of a conversation here between Charles Kissy and the official.
Jordan Baker instigating.
As Tyrell Green checks in here. And Tyrell Tate is going to take a seat, it seems. Arledge takes a seat. He's already off the floor as Combo goes to the line, misses the first.
Edmonton has a very solid coaching staff. You have some experience over there with David Joseph, who's actually Corey Joseph's father, who we're all familiar with, plays the Sacramento Kings, had a little stint with Toronto.
I should note John Arledge fouled out of the game with his 5th foul. That would explain the low minutes total as well. Here is Friesen. That's no good. It's rebounded there by Daniels. 19-point lead here for Edmonton. Just a minute 25 to go before Elam ending time. And a kickball there as Peter McNeely tried to throw in the entry pass to Baker, but McCallum was there to kick it out of bounds, and they'll reset with 17 on the clock. Kimball McKenzie back in. Marcus Anderson will take a seat.
You know, Edmonton still still applying a lot of pressure on Guelph, which is interesting because you'd assume that Guelph right now will be the ones, the aggressors in terms of applying pressure. So, you know, they have to turn that around at least to get some steals, create some tough shots for Edmonton.
Xavier Moon sizing up Kimball McKenzie. He gets it to McNeely for 3. That's no good. Rebounded there by McCallum. Just over a minute now until the Elam ending kicks in. Very important here for the Nighthawks to be getting some buckets on the board. And a nice pass entry-wise there to Joel Friesen from McKenzie, but he can't get it to go. Edmonton ball, they'll walk it up. Moon with it. Not rushing here at all. There's no need to hurry into anything if you're Xavier Moon. Here's McNeely. He'll drive, a little behind the back. Gathers it after stumbling a little bit, puts it up floater. Adika Peter McNeely's been excellent tonight.
I think he made a choice to come out aggressive tonight, and he's definitely getting in his rhythm.
Here's McCallum on a roll, and that is good. Hoop in the harm there for Tredavious McCallum, who will go to the line for the 3-point play. Adika Peter McNeely up to 17 points in the game so far to lead the way for the Edmonton Stingers off the bench. Xavier Moon, no points in the second half. Hasn't need to force it.
Peter McNeely has a basketball family. His brother, Jamie McNeely, is somebody I've played with. He's a coach at Virginia Tech. Excuse me, is it Virginia Tech? I don't want to misquote you, but yeah, his brother, Mississippi. Yeah.
Thanks to Amy Audibert for the help there.
Helping us out over here.
There's Xavier Moon over to Travis Daniels. Drives, little floater. That's no good. We are now under the 4-minute mark, so the next stoppage will implement the Elam ending. And it's a 19-point lead for for Edmonton, as Xavier Moon denies a screen from Baker, drives into the paint, throws it away, and there is Joel Friesen on the run. He's got Combo behind him, but he will score off glass. A big bucket there to draw a little bit nearer here for Guelph. 76-59 the score in favor of Edmonton. The next stoppage, again, will bring in the Elam ending as Adika Peter McNeely walks it up. He is fouled by Tyrell Green, and that will bring in Elam time.
It's time to go.
So the score is 76-59 in favor of the Edmonton Stingers. The target score will now be 85 for the Stingers and the Nighthawks both to play to. The Nighthawks obviously will have to score 26 points before Edmonton can score 9 here. For Guelph, I mean, we've talked about it all game long, the things they need to do, the things they need to be, just kind of figuring out and ironing out to get back on the board here. But for Edmonton, how have they been able to maintain this lead? They've been fantastic here in the second half. They got up big and never relinquished.
You know, I think for Edmonton, it's just chemistry. These guys have been together for some time. They have some chemistry. So they're peaking as they go on. They're just getting better as this series goes on. And you can see that with their play. They look confident. Guys are fresh. Guys are happy playing with each other, and they're having fun out there, and that's the most important thing on both ends of the court.
Absolutely. We'll take a look at some numbers from the Elam ending to date here in the CEBL Summer Series. 89.3 the average target score, so we're a little bit below that with 85 here today. Game-winning shots, we've had 5 threes made, 8 twos, 3 free throws as well as the deciders, and a goaltend in a game earlier over the weekend as well was mixed in for fun, I believe, in the Ottawa game that took place over the weekend. So it's been a fun, interesting mixed bag. We've had some close finishes. We've had some not as close finishes, but were made closer by the Elam ending. Teams down, as much as Guelph are right now, making a comeback and, pulling it a little bit closer. That is the beauty of the Elam ending. The end of the buzzer. The buzzer is no longer the inhibitor to making a comeback here. It's just your own ability. If you can string together a bunch of stops, string together a run, then anything is possible here in the Elam ending.
Right, and it's natural for the team that's leading, especially by this much, to sort of relax, because mentally you're thinking, okay, I just have to get 9 points. Whereas a team that's in the deficit, there's a bit more pressure, there's a bit more sense of urgency for them, and it usually shows.
We did see Edmonton up big against the Hamilton Honey Badgers last week and kind of nearly choked it away in the back part of that game as things got a little bit panicky for Edmonton. And that is a miss there by Daniels, and Guelph will bring it back the other way, looking to cut into this lead. And a foul there is going to be called on Jordan Baker. It'll be Kimball McKenzie who's fouled. And Edmonton is over the limit, so Kimball McKenzie will shoot 2. That's big here. Still a couple fouls to give for Guelph, whereas it's already bonus time for the Nighthawks free throw shooters. That's a pretty good way to get back the deficit and keep Edmonton at bay.
Chip away at it, slow and steady.
Makes the steady. 76-60. Edmonton leads.
Do we see a comeback tonight?
Hey, why not? Let's see it. These are the two best teams so far in the series. I'm going to be an optimist and say yes. And if I'm wrong, don't quote me on it. I'm not the expert. You are. And a steal there by Kimball McKenzie. Here's Famatimi for 3. That's no good. Grab there underneath by Craig. A fight for the ball. And it somehow lands in the hands of Tyrell Green, who goes up off glass and a foul. And Tyrell Green is going to go to the line here with a chance to cut this lead down to 12.
You see, and this is the sense of urgency we spoke about earlier. One team is putting their foot to the pedal, and the other team is sort of like eased off and sort of relaxed a bit. So, I've seen that's become a trend over the last couple of games, over a few games that we've seen over the last week. So it'll be interesting to see if Guelph can turn this run, cut the deficit, or at least overcome.
Again, looking back at last week, Edmonton led by 11 over Hamilton going into their Elam ending. Hamilton drew near. They were tied at one point. Eventually, Edmonton did pull it out with that Xavier Moon 3. But you can see here, it's a bit panicky when the other team is so desperate to get stops. Of course, they break the press there, and they score a bucket. They're now just 7 points away from the target score of 85. A foul called there, and Kimball McKenzie will go back to the line here in the bonus. If you're Jermaine Small right now, what are you saying to guys about fouling? Are you okay maybe giving up an easy bucket at the rim if it's to not foul? Or how does this sort of work here when you're trying to manage the aggression late in this game?
I'm not giving up any baskets. No baskets. Force them to make baskets. Force them to make tough baskets. But most importantly, play with your feet. They've relaxed a bit right now and sort of started playing with their hands, and they're a split second late when McKenzie or some of the other ball handlers have the basketball using the ball screens or making a move to the basket. But again, use your feet, stay in front of your defender, force them to make tough shots, and for your bigs, play straight up. Force them to make baskets over you as opposed to in you or going through you.
And that is a 5 count on the inbound, and it's going to go back to Guelph again. Edmonton, a little bit hairy here in this Elam ending situation, and the score right now, 78-66, just 1 point different from the 77-66 lead they had at the start of their Elam ending with Hamilton. Here is Peter McNeely. He drives, he's fouled, and Peter McNeely is going to go to the line to shoot 2. Peter McNeely leading the way. He's up to 19 points in this game, leading the way for Edmonton. Again, the target score, 85, you see up there in the left corner of your screen. If you're listening on CJOY 1460 in Guelph, you just have to trust me when I say 85 is the target score. Here is Peter McNeely at the line for his first. That is good. 6 points away from the target.
And that's 20 points for him tonight?
That is 20 for Adika Peter McNeely off the bench. has been one of the best reserves in the entire CEBL 2 years running. Up to 21 now as he makes number 2. 5 points away from the target score is Edmonton. Here is Kimball McKenzie. Tries to find Craig on the roll. That's tapped out of bounds. It'll stay with Guelph. 17 on the shot clock.
You have to imagine if they came out this aggressive early on, they would have, probably wouldn't have had this much of a deficit. Could have potentially been in this game.
That's got to be the frustrating things for all of these coaches of these teams that trail going into the Elam. They keep on outscoring. It's like, where was this for the first 36 minutes of action?
Right.
Here's Kimball McKenzie. Can't get that to go. Scramble for the ball. Long rebound comes to McCallum as he and Famatimi argue over who's going to take it. Here's Famatimi. Over to Craig. Pull-up jumper. That's no good. Maybe an ill-advised shot selection there for Jabari Craig.
Yeah, you know what? He'll learn time and shot selection as he develops and gets better, like we mentioned earlier. But, tool-wise, I think this guy's going to be special, especially with his length and his agility.
Edmonton once again freaked out there by the extra pressure sent by the Nighthawks, and it's Nighthawks ball once again after another turnover. Here's Kimball McKenzie. He's got Moon on him. He finds McCallum coming off a screen down to the corner for Friesen. That's 4 threes today for Joel Friesen, 80-69. Now just 11 points back are the Guelph Nighthawks, who continue to throw pressure. And Moon just blows by McKenzie in the backcourt there. They're going to call a foul on the floor here, but Edmonton is in the bonus. So Moon is going to go to the line. Xavier Moon. The foul is called there on number 20, who is Joel Friesen for the Nighthawks.
You know what? In the event that Edmonton wins tonight, I think Moon is going to really benefit the most from the rest because, the scouting report is out on him. If you stop him, you probably have a good chance at stopping this Edmonton team. So I've noticed the guys have been really physical with him over the last couple of games that they've played. Have knocked him to the floor a couple of times. You see he's actually bandaged up. So, for a guy like that, it's, he's a little light, obviously fast, but these teams are definitely a lot more physical with him and trying to knock him off of his game.
Moon hits the first. If you're looking to know Xavier Moon, the defending MVP, a little bit more, I highly recommend checking out the Dishes and Dimes podcast. He was a guest on that podcast a couple weeks back and did a wonderful job, a nice, fun side of Xavier Moon on Dishes and Dimes. Here is Jabari Craig inbounding to Marcus Anderson. He'll walk it on up. He's got Moon on him. He takes the screen from Craig, and a lob up to Jabari Craig. A heavy jam for Jabari Craig on the lob, and he's going to go to the line and one with Edmonton 3 points away from the target score. Guelph now within potentially 10 if Craig can knock this down.
And we've seen a similar action to start this game where they came off a mid-ball screen. Jabari did an amazing job diving hard to the basket. The point guard lobbed the ball to the basket. There's nobody up there that can defend. If they could have done a little more of that, eventually Edmonton would adjust, defended it, and your weak side would be open. Get a little more of those actions, easy baskets. They could have done a better job of being in this game a lot earlier.
Edmonton's a three-pointer away from the win. Travis Daniels gets it to go. That is game for Travis Daniels. They call it a three, and the Edmonton Stingers are going home with the victory. 5-1 the Stingers move to clinch the top spot in the CEBL Summer Series round robin, and they will next play in the semis after getting a bye on Saturday. A big three made there by Travis Daniels to close this one out. 85-71, the Edmonton Stingers win. The Guelph Nighthawks fall to 3-2 in the Summer Series, and now will be in a battle to get that bye into the semi and not have to play in the quarters on Thursday. That is a huge shot there from Travis Daniels. A big win here from Edmonton, making good on their favorite or at least co-favorite status coming into this tournament. They have been excellent, and they move to 5-1 and will go to the semis. Javon, that is huge.
That's big. That's big for them. Now they can, move on, get some rest. I got caught off guard. Coach Charles Kissy was, babbling at the ref a bit. No, this is huge for Edmonton. They're a team that they deserve this. This was the goal. I spoke to Coach Jermaine Small a lot over the week, and he said, we brought back these core group of guys, and they bought in for this same reasons, to get to that point. So, kudos to them, and I commend them for the work that they put in.
We're going to send things down to the baseline with Amy Audibert and the hitter of that game-winning shot, Travis Daniels. Amy.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Travis, what a fantastic game for you guys. I want to start off by talking about clinching the #1 seed, all business, essentially control this entire game. But what are you most proud of with what your team showed tonight?
Resilience. We stuck with it. We didn't get too complacent. We did slack up in the fourth, but we stayed with it and we closed the game out.
Now, I'm sure you're going to enjoy some rest and recovery now here, but you're a true pro, so you understand you don't play now until Saturday. That's more rest than anyone's seen this entire summer series. How do you stay sharp and ready for that semifinal game?
For one, you got to recover, take care of your body, but at the same time, you got to be active, get up shots, study the game, because that's a long little stretch right there. And then teams that are playing, they're moving, so we got to just stay with it.
Real quick, break down that last shot for us. That was a nice-looking shot.
It was just I knew they was going to double, so I knew we needed a 3, so I just went for the 3, just try to go for the kill.
Hold your follow-through up a little bit longer next time.
Thank you.
Come back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Amy, and thanks to Travis Daniels, the game-winning shot off the fingers of Daniels here as we come to the end of this game, Javon, as the Edmonton Stingers move into the semifinal Saturday here at the CEBL Summer Series here at Meridian Center. For Guelph now, it's about regrouping and coming back. They again play the Fraser Valley Bandits August 5th. That is 2 days from now against the Bandits in a big game. That'll be second seed very much on the line. In terms of the next broadcast for us, Javon, tomorrow we are back for a doubleheader. We got the 5 p.m. start, the Saskatchewan Rattlers and the Hamilton Honey Badgers, followed by the Ottawa Blackjacks and the Niagara River Lions. 2 teams there fighting for their lives, as are the Saskatchewan Rattlers with just 1 win so far. It's going to be a lot of things to figure out tomorrow when it comes to the standings based on those 2 games.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. A lot of these teams are all now. We really the best basketball from them, and it's going to come down to the stretch. So, and like we expected, tight knit standings, and we're going to see the best basketball played now.
Absolutely. You're going to see us back here at 5 p.m. tomorrow on CBC Gem and CBCSports.ca. We are now going to send you over to the CEBL Life feature on Nighthawks point guard Miles Jarvis. Thanks for being with us, everybody.
Hey Elijah, what's up? Where are you? I'm in my room. No, are you gonna play? No, I'm not playing until Saturday. You're gonna watch my game on TV with Nana, right? Right? Yeah, you are. How's your day today? Daddy, I want you to come home. I know, I want to come home. That's why I'm gonna see you tomorrow, because I can't stay away from you for so long. Okay? I know. We're gonna have fun tomorrow though, I promise. Okay? So I met his mom when I was in Waterloo, when I was living out there in Waterloo. She came to my apartment where I was living at the time. And she's like, close your door. So I closed the door and she's like, Miles, I'm pregnant. So the first maybe 2-3 months, I didn't even know what to say. You know what I mean? But I knew I was gonna be a part of his life no matter what. But at the beginning, I really just didn't know how to cope with it. And then I started to feel a little bit more alone because I was in Waterloo by myself, and I knew I was gonna be transferring to Ryerson. So I wasn't playing basketball at the time. I was just by myself. I didn't even tell my parents until maybe 5 months. But the amazing thing about it now is we can't see our lives without him now. You know what I mean? If I was 25 now with no child, my whole personality and everything would be different. Just kind of put things into perspective, and made me hustle harder for the things that I wanted in life to show him that he can do it too, kind of thing, you know? Right now for the CEBL, having a pro league in Canada for guys that have, families and stuff like that, it's amazing because you don't have to go abroad to go make money, you know what I mean? You can stay at home, play the game you love, and your family can be there too, which is a huge bonus, especially starting out in your career, being able to, play pro basketball with your little one there, seeing the whole process, bringing him in the change room after games, is we're making memories in that. The CEBL actually took a picture of me and him on the court for Father's Day when I was holding his hand walking across the court. So that was a big moment for me. That was a really, really big moment. When he gets older, he's gonna see that. he was on the court with his dad in a pro game. So I think if I was overseas, I wouldn't have a memory like that, you know. So yeah, like having this league in Canada is amazing for us, like for sure, definitely amazing.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, Elijah, I love you.
Let's go play ball outside.
Okay, bye. Bye. So the injury in the game, third quarter, I made a move that I make all the time. It wasn't even aggressive. I just stepped back to go towards the ball. Once I tried to move, my heel just felt like it was off the floor as I'm walking. I passed the ball and I tried to move, and then I searched for it too to like feel like what was going on. And there was like a little like indent in my Achilles. They knew right away that I was gonna need surgery. So I started off my 2020 with surgery. I just took the journey as a challenge. There was days where I saw no improvement, and then there was days where I felt like I can get back like right now. It was just about really like finding yourself, you know. Life is more than basketball. I spent a lot of time with my son and my family, which was amazing. There was a lot of good days and there was a bad days, but like during those bad days, that's when the self-doubt would really creep in, and you think like, am I ever gonna be able to play this game that I love so much, or is this the end, you know? I didn't know if I'd be able to come back and be the player that I was, but you know, just with that mental fortitude and just willingness to succeed, I knew that I don't need to be the player that I was because I'll come back better than I was before. Yeah, so I got the nickname Costco last season because that's exactly what I was working at, you know? We're here now, so before practices would start, I'd be morning shift at Costco, 4 a.m. to 10, and then straight after work, I'd go straight to practice right after, you know? It was tough. It was definitely tough. You know, there were some practices where I was like, my legs were tired because I was on my feet for like 6 hours. I was up at 3 a.m. It was just a testament of just really working hard for the things that you want. And then priorities too, you know. I wasn't playing as much as I wanted to on the team, so just come in, do your work, you know, don't complain because everything happens for a reason, and when it's your opportunity, you got to shine in that opportunity. And I think the turning point was when Coach Kissy came involved into the team. Like, he really shook up the whole culture of the team, you know, just bringing that structure, a whole new playbook. He brought in new players, and then I really was able to thrive in the system that he provided, and I like really meshed with him as a person as well as a coach. By the end of the season, I was actually Player of the Month for the month of August in the CEBL, which was a huge, huge blessing. Chasing the pro dream, it was something that I always thought I could do as a kid, you know. I saw that like, okay, if you put in the hard work, like, this stuff can be attainable. And at the end of the day too, I said, why not? You know, like I gotta give it a try at least, you know, even though I have a kid at a young age, I just wanna give it a try and at least say I did it. And when he gets older, he's gonna understand when he has a passion for whatever it is, whether he wants to be a doctor, a lawyer, if it's an athlete, cool. But I just wanted to show him that like your dad is living out his dream, so like there's no reason why you can't. So that's why the biggest thing is like why I had to do it, because from a young age, that was my dream and I attained it.